Hello to all fans of Naruto Lemon. I will post all Naruto Lemon Yaoi, Yuri, or Naruto Lemon stories only on the Boosty channel because Uncle YouTube condemns this. Therefore, I invite everyone who wants Naruto Lemon content to my Boosty channel. Good luck.
お前はどこまで見えている俺の死に様か
Chapter 1, The Hidden Legacy. In the quiet village of Konoha, where the sun filtered through the dense canopy of trees, Naruto Uzumaki lived a life shadowed by secrets. Her bright orange hair and spirited personality made her a well-known figure, but there was more to her than met the eye. Today, the whispers of her mysterious lineage were about to come to light. Naruto sat under the shade of a large tree, her forehead protector reflecting the sunlight. She stared at the ground, lost in thought. Her heart ached with questions about her origins, a burden she carried alone. A soft voice interrupted her solitude. "Naruto, are you all right?" It was Sasuke Uchiha, his dark eyes filled with concern. He had noticed her distant expression. Naruto looked up, forcing a smile. "Yeah, just thinking about things." Sasuke sat beside her, his presence comforting. "You seem troubled. Want to talk about it?" Naruto hesitated, then sighed. "It's just, lately, I've been having these strange dreams. They're so vivid, like I'm reliving something ancient. I don't understand what they mean." Sasuke's expression grew serious. Dreams can be a reflection of deep truths. Maybe there's something you need to uncover about yourself. Before Naruto could respond, a sudden gust of wind blew through the clearing. A figure appeared, cloaked in shadows. The air grew cold, and the vibrant colors of the forest seemed to dim. "Naruto Uzumaki," the figure's voice echoed, "it is time you learned the truth of your heritage." Naruto's eyes widened in shock. "Who are you?" The figure stepped into the light, revealing an old man with a wise face and piercing eyes. "I am Jiraiya, a sage from the Hidden Leaf. I have come to reveal a secret long kept hidden." Sasuke stood protectively beside Naruto. "What secret?" Jiraiya's gaze softened as he looked at Naruto. "Naruto, you are not just the daughter of the Uzumaki clan. You are the younger sister of Kaguya Ootsutsuki." The revelation hit Naruto like a thunderbolt. "Kaguya? But, how? I don't understand." Jiraiya nodded solemnly. "Kaguya was the progenitor of chakra, and her actions led to great conflict. Your family's history is intertwined with hers. The powers you've been sensing are a part of this legacy." Naruto's hands trembled. "But why? Why was I kept in the dark?" Jiraiya placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "To protect you. Kaguya's legacy is both powerful and dangerous. You must learn to harness your abilities and understand your place in this world." Sasuke looked at Naruto with renewed determination. "We'll help you. Whatever it takes." Naruto looked up at them, a mix of fear and resolve in her eyes. "Thank you. I need to know everything. I need to understand why I have these powers and what my role truly is." Jiraiya nodded. "Then we begin your training. The path ahead will be challenging, but you are not alone." As the sun dipped below the horizon, Naruto felt the weight of her destiny beginning to unfold. With the support of her friends and the guidance of the sage, she was ready to face the hidden truths of her past and the future that awaited her. Chapter 2, The Awakening of Power. The moon hung high over Konoha, casting a silvery glow on the village. Naruto Uzumaki lay awake in her room, staring at the ceiling. The words of Jiraiya echoed in her mind, "You are Kaguya Ootsutsuki's sister." The weight of that truth pressed heavily on her chest. She felt a mix of excitement and fear. I can't believe it, she whispered to herself, clenching her fists. What does it even mean? Just then, a soft knock interrupted her thoughts. Naruto? It was Sasuke's voice, low and steady. Come in, she replied, trying to sound more composed than she felt. Sasuke entered, his dark eyes scanning the room before settling on her. I couldn't sleep. I thought you might need company. Naruto sat up, brushing her hair back. Thanks. I've been thinking, a lot. About what Jiraiya said? Yeah. She took a deep breath. I feel like there's so much I don't know about myself. What if I can't handle it? Sasuke moved closer, sitting on the edge of her bed. You won't be alone. We'll figure this out together. His presence calmed her. What if I end up like Kaguya? What if I lose control? Then we'll make sure that doesn't happen, he said firmly. You're not her. You're Naruto. She smiled softly, grateful for his support. Thanks, Sasuke. That means a lot. The two sat in silence for a moment, lost in their thoughts. Naruto felt a flicker of determination ignite within her. I want to train. I need to understand my powers. Sasuke nodded. Let's talk to Jiraiya in the morning. He can help us start your training. The next day dawned bright and clear. Naruto and Sasuke met Jiraiya at a training ground just outside the village. The air was fresh, filled with the scent of pine and earth. Good morning, you two. Jiraiya greeted them, his white hair glinting in the sunlight. Are you ready to unlock your potential? Naruto nodded eagerly. I want to start right away. Excellent. Jiraiya rubbed his hands together. First, we need to awaken your chakra. It's the essence of your being and connects you to your Ootsutsuki heritage. What do I need to do? Naruto asked, her eyes shining with excitement. Close your eyes and focus, Jiraiya instructed. Feel the chakra within you. It's like a river flowing through your body. Naruto followed his instructions, closing her eyes and taking a deep breath. She concentrated, trying to sense the energy inside her. At first, there was only silence, but slowly, she felt a warmth stirring deep within. Good. Now visualize it, Jiraiya encouraged. Picture it as a bright light. Naruto focused harder, picturing a golden light swirling around her. Suddenly, a surge of power coursed through her veins, making her gasp. I feel it, she exclaimed, opening her eyes wide. Now, channel that energy into a jutsu, Jiraiya said, his voice filled with excitement. Try to create a simple fireball technique. Naruto concentrated again, summoning the chakra she had just awakened. She extended her hand, envisioning the fire forming there. A small flame flickered to life, growing brighter and larger. Whoa! I did it, she shouted, her face alight with joy. Impressive! Jiraiya grinned, proud of her progress. But remember, this is just the beginning. Your Ootsutsuki blood will grant you even greater abilities. Sasuke watched, his interest piqued. What kind of abilities? Your potential is vast, Jiraiya replied. You may be able to manipulate dimensions, control powerful techniques, and even unlock new forms. But it requires discipline and training. Naruto felt a rush of determination. I want to learn everything. I don't want to be afraid of my powers anymore. Then we'll work hard, Jiraiya said, a glint of approval in his eyes. Let's increase the intensity. Sasuke, you'll help guide her through the training. Understood, Sasuke replied, his expression serious. As the sun rose higher in the sky, the trio spent hours training. Naruko practiced various techniques, each one challenging her to push her limits. She discovered she had an innate talent for controlling chakra, and with each success, her confidence grew. After a grueling session, they took a break, sitting under the shade of a large tree. Naruko wiped the sweat from her brow, breathing heavily. "This is harder than I thought." "But you're doing great," Sasuke reassured her. "You're stronger than you realize." Jiraiya leaned back against the tree, crossing his arms. "You have great potential, Naruko. But with that power comes responsibility. You must use it wisely." Naruko nodded, absorbing his words. "I will. I want to protect my friends and my village." "Good," Jiraiya said, his tone serious. "But be wary of the darkness that comes with power. Kaguya was once a protector, too." The mention of her sister sent a chill down Naruko's spine. "I don't want to end up like her." "Then learn to control it," Sasuke said firmly. "You can do this." Encouraged by their support, Naruko stood up. "Let's keep going. I want to get stronger." As days turned into weeks, Naruko dedicated herself to training. With Jiraiya's guidance and Sasuke's support, she began to master her chakra. She learned to perform jutsu more efficiently, and her confidence soared with each new technique. One evening, after a particularly intense training session, Naruko and Sasuke sat on a hill overlooking Konoha, the village lights twinkling below them. "I never thought I'd get this far," Naruko admitted, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "I feel so alive." Sasuke looked at her, a rare smile forming on his lips. "You've come a long way. I'm proud of you." "Thanks," she said, her heart warming at his praise. "It feels good to be strong." As they watched the sunset, Naruko couldn't shake the feeling that something deeper was awakening within her. "Do you ever wonder about your own destiny?" she asked, turning to Sasuke. "Every day," he replied, his expression thoughtful. "I want to make sure my family's legacy isn't forgotten. I want to protect what's important to me." Naruko nodded, understanding his resolve. "We'll protect each other, right?" "Always," Sasuke promised, his voice steady. The days continued to pass, filled with training and bonding. However, Naruko's dreams began to change. The visions that once felt distant now grew more intense, more vivid. She saw glimpses of a dark figure and felt an overwhelming sense of dread. One night, after a particularly troubling dream, Naruko awoke in a cold sweat. She sat up, her heart racing. "What does it mean?" she whispered to herself. Sasuke, hearing her distress, rushed into her room. "Naruko. What's wrong?" "I had a dream. I saw Kaguya," she admitted, her voice trembling. Sasuke sat beside her, his expression serious. "What did she say?" "She didn't speak, but I felt her darkness. It was suffocating," Naruko explained, her hands shaking. "I don't want that to be my fate." "Then we need to train harder," Sasuke said, determination in his eyes. "We'll face whatever comes our way." "But what if it's too strong?" Naruko questioned, doubt creeping in. "Then we'll face it together." "I won't let you fall into darkness," he reassured her, his grip firm on her shoulder. Feeling a surge of hope, Naruko nodded. "Okay. Together." The following days were filled with relentless training as they prepared for the challenges ahead. Naruko pushed herself, learning to control her abilities and channel her chakra into more advanced techniques. One afternoon, while training in the forest, Jiraiya approached them with a serious expression. "I have news. There are disturbances in the chakra flow around the village." It could be connected to Kaguya's followers. What does that mean? Naruto asked, alarmed. It means you may have to confront your past sooner than expected, Jiraiya replied, his gaze unwavering. Sasuke's jaw tightened. We'll be ready. We've trained for this. Good. I'll help you prepare. But remember, your greatest challenge may not just be the enemies outside but also the darkness within, Jiraiya warned. Naruto took a deep breath, feeling a mix of fear and determination. I won't let Kaguya's legacy define me. I'll fight for my own path. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the training ground, Naruto felt a sense of clarity. With the support of her friends and her newfound strength, she was ready to confront the challenges ahead. The path was uncertain, but her resolve was unwavering. Naruto stood tall, her silhouette framed by the fading light. She turned to Sasuke and Jiraiya, her eyes reflecting the last rays of the sun. Thank you both for everything. I feel stronger, and I'm ready to face whatever comes next. Sasuke nodded, a serious expression on his face. We're all in this together. We'll keep training and prepare for whatever challenges come our way. Jiraiya placed a reassuring hand on Naruto's shoulder. You've made great progress. But remember, strength isn't just about physical power. It's about control and understanding your inner self. I understand, Naruto said, her voice steady. I'll work on that. The trio decided to take a break and enjoy the sunset, sharing a moment of calm before the storm of upcoming battles. They sat in a small clearing, the warmth of the setting sun casting a peaceful glow over them. As they talked, Jiraiya shared stories from his past, offering insight into the history of chakra and the Ootsutsuki clan. Naruto listened intently, absorbing every detail. She realized how much she still had to learn, not just about her powers, but about her place in this world. Your sister Kaguya was incredibly powerful, Jiraiya said, his tone thoughtful. But her downfall came from her inability to balance her power and her desire for control. Don't let that happen to you. Naruto nodded, her mind racing with the implications. I won't. I want to be different. I want to use my power to protect, not to dominate. That's the right attitude, Jiraiya affirmed. And remember, you're not alone. You have us by your side. As darkness began to fall, Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya packed up their things and prepared to head back to the village. Naruto felt a renewed sense of purpose. She knew the journey ahead would be difficult, but with her friends' support and her growing strength, she was determined to forge her own path. The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. Naruto and Sasuke continued their rigorous training, pushing each other to new heights. Jiraiya provided guidance, helping Naruto refine her techniques and deepen her understanding of chakra control. One morning, as they trained, Naruto felt a strange sensation, like a ripple through her chakra. What's happening? She asked, her focus wavering. Jiraiya's eyes narrowed in concentration. It seems you're sensing a disturbance. It might be related to Kaguya's influence. We need to investigate. The trio set out towards the source of the disturbance, moving swiftly through the forest. As they approached a secluded area, they noticed an eerie silence, the usual sounds of the forest absent. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, a tall man with an aura of darkness. His eyes glowed with a sinister light, and his presence radiated malevolence. Who are you? Naruto demanded, her voice steady, despite the fear she felt. The man smirked. I am one of Kaguya's followers. I've come to see if the legacy lives on. Jiraiya stepped forward, his expression grim. You won't find what you're looking for here. The man's eyes shifted to Naruto. Ah, you must be the sister. Kaguya always said her bloodline would bring great power. Let's see if you're worth the hype. Naruko's heart pounded, but she stood her ground. I won't let you use me to fulfill her dark legacy. The man's smirk widened. We'll see about that. Without warning, he launched an attack, sending a wave of dark chakra towards Naruko. She reacted instinctively, raising a protective barrier of fire to block the attack. The clash of energies created a blinding explosion, shaking the ground. Sasuke rushed to Naruko's side, his Sharingan activated. Focus, Naruko. We need to work together. Naruko nodded, channeling her chakra into a powerful fireball. She aimed it at the enemy, her eyes filled with determination. The fireball collided with the dark energy, pushing the man back. Jiraiya joined the fight, summoning a large toad to assist. The toad engaged the enemy, providing Naruko and Sasuke with a moment to regroup. You're strong, Jiraiya said, his voice filled with approval. But don't let your emotions cloud your judgment. Stay focused. Naruko took a deep breath, centering herself. She felt the warmth of her chakra, the power of her heritage, flowing through her. With renewed determination, she unleashed a torrent of fire, aiming directly at the enemy. The man staggered under the intense heat, his dark energy faltering. This isn't over, he growled, retreating into the shadows. As the enemy disappeared, the forest fell silent once more. Naruko, Sasuke, and Jiraiya stood amidst the aftermath of the battle, their breathing heavy but victorious. You did well, Jiraiya said, his voice filled with pride. You're growing stronger. But remember, this is just the beginning. There will be more challenges ahead. Naruko nodded, her resolve strengthened by the encounter. I understand. I'll be ready. As they made their way back to the village, Naruko felt a sense of accomplishment. She had faced her first real test and emerged victorious. The path ahead was still uncertain, but with her friend's support and her growing strength, she was ready to face whatever challenges awaited. Chapter 3: The Shadows of the Past. The moon hung high in the night sky, casting a silvery light over Konoha. Naruko lay in her bed, her thoughts swirling with the events of the past days. The battle against the dark figure had left her both exhausted and determined. She had managed to fend off the attack, but it was clear that Kaguya's influence was still very much alive, and it brought with it a new wave of threats. Naruko rolled over in bed, her mind replaying the clash. Despite her victory, doubts lingered. Could she truly stand against the legacy of Kaguya? She wanted to be strong, to use her power for good, but every battle seemed to test her resolve. A soft knock on her door broke her from her thoughts. It was Sasuke, his face serious but kind. Can I come in? He asked. Naruko sat up, nodding. Of course. Sasuke entered, his presence a comforting contrast to the turmoil in her mind. You've been quiet since the fight. How are you holding up? Naruko sighed. It's been tough. I'm trying to process everything. I know I have to be strong, but sometimes it feels overwhelming. Sasuke walked over and sat beside her. It's okay to feel that way. You're carrying a lot on your shoulders, but you're not alone. We're all in this together. She appreciated his support, but still felt the weight of the challenge ahead. I just want to make sure I'm ready. I don't want to let anyone down. You're already stronger than you think, Sasuke reassured her. And we're here to help you. Let's train more, together. We'll face whatever comes next as a team. Naruko nodded, her spirits lifting. Thanks, Sasuke. I really needed to hear that. Anytime, Sasuke said with a rare, genuine smile. We'll start training at dawn. Rest up. As he left, Naruto lay back down, feeling a bit more at ease. Sasuke's words echoed in her mind, a reminder that she wasn't alone in this fight. She closed her eyes, trying to let go of her worries and get some much-needed rest. The next morning, the sun rose early, bathing the village in its warm light. Naruto and Sasuke met at the training ground, both ready for another day of rigorous practice. Jiraiya joined them, bringing a new challenge for Naruto to face. Today, we're going to focus on refining your control over your fire and ice abilities, Jiraiya explained. You've made great progress, but mastering your powers is crucial. Naruto nodded, determination shining in her eyes. I'm ready. Jiraiya set up several training dummies, each equipped with different elemental shields. Your goal is to break through these shields using your elemental attacks. It'll help you improve your precision and control. Naruto took her position, channeling her chakra into a stream of fire that she directed at the first dummy. The fire roared, breaking through the shield with ease. She moved on to the next dummy, this time focusing on her ice abilities. A blast of icy wind shattered the shield, her control more precise than before. Sasuke watched with interest, occasionally offering tips and encouragement. Your control is improving. Just remember to stay focused and adapt to the situation. Naruto appreciated his guidance. As the hours passed, she grew more skilled at combining her fire and ice abilities, creating powerful and versatile attacks. She felt a growing sense of confidence, her powers becoming an extension of herself rather than a source of fear. As they wrapped up their training, Jiraiya gathered them for a strategy session. We've been getting reports of unusual activity near the village. It could be related to the dark figure we fought before. Naruto's expression grew serious. What should we do? We need to investigate, Jiraiya said. But we have to be cautious. There might be more followers of Kaguya, or other threats we haven't encountered yet. Sasuke nodded in agreement. We should scout the area and gather as much information as we can. The team set out towards the reported location, a dense forest on the outskirts of the village. As they moved through the trees, the atmosphere grew tense. The forest was eerily quiet, the usual sounds of wildlife absent. Suddenly, they spotted a figure standing in the distance, cloaked in shadows. The figure was tall and imposing, with a dark aura that made Naruto's heart race. It's another one of Kaguya's followers, Jiraiya said, his tone grim. Prepare yourselves. The figure stepped forward, revealing a face covered by a mask. I've been waiting for you, the figure said, their voice cold and menacing. You've grown stronger, but that won't be enough to stop us. Naruto stepped forward, her fire and ice abilities flaring in response. Who are you, and what do you want? The figure's eyes glowed with dark energy. I am one of Kaguya's most loyal servants. My purpose is to test your strength and see if you are worthy of the power you wield. Without warning, the figure launched a series of dark energy blasts towards them. Naruto and Sasuke sprang into action, using their abilities to deflect and counter the attacks. The battle was intense, the dark energy clashing with their elemental powers. Naruto focused on her training, combining her fire and ice abilities to create a barrier that blocked the figure's attacks. She could feel the strain of the battle, her chakra reserves being tested. But she pushed through, her determination fueling her efforts. Sasuke fought alongside her, his Sharingan guiding him through the chaos. He noticed the figure's pattern of attacks and quickly formulated a plan. Naruto, we need to find a way to break through their defenses. Naruto nodded, understanding the urgency. She focused her chakra into a powerful fireball, aiming it directly at the figure. At the same time, Sasuke unleashed a series of precise lightning strikes. The combined attack struck true, breaking through the figure's defenses and forcing them back. The figure staggered, their dark energy faltering. "You're stronger than I anticipated," the figure said, their voice filled with frustration. But this isn't over. With a final surge of dark energy, the figure disappeared into the shadows, leaving the forest in silence once more. Naruto and Sasuke exchanged a look of relief and exhaustion. "That was intense," Naruto said, catching her breath. Jiraiya approached them, his expression serious, but proud. "You both did well. Your teamwork and control were impressive." Naruto nodded, her determination unwavering. "We need to find out more about these followers and their plans. We can't let them catch us off guard again." "We will," Jiraiya assured her. "We'll gather more information and be ready for whatever comes next." As they made their way back to the village, Naruto felt a renewed sense of purpose. The battles were challenging, but each victory brought her closer to understanding her own strength and the legacy she carried. With her friends by her side, she was ready to face whatever the future held. Chapter 4: Echoes of the Past. The sun rose over Konoha, casting a warm glow across the village. Naruto was already up, her mind buzzing with the events of the previous day. The encounter with Kaguya's follower had left her with more questions than answers. She was determined to uncover the truth behind these dark figures and their connection to her sister. As she prepared for the day, her thoughts were interrupted by a knock on her door. It was Sasuke, looking as determined as ever. "Ready for another day of training?" he asked, a hint of a smile on his face. Naruto nodded, her resolve firm. "Absolutely. We need to stay sharp." They headed to the training ground, where Jiraiya was waiting. He greeted them with a nod and a serious expression. "Today, we'll focus on enhancing your ability to sense and counter dark energy," Jiraiya explained. "The more you understand about these energies, the better you'll be prepared for what lies ahead." Naruto and Sasuke set to work, their training intense and focused. Jiraiya guided them through exercises designed to hone their senses and improve their reaction times. Naruto found herself growing more attuned to the subtle shifts in chakra, her ability to sense disturbances becoming more refined. As they took a break, Jiraiya brought up a new topic. "We've been receiving reports of unusual disturbances around the village. It might be connected to the dark figure you fought." Naruto's interest was piqued. "What kind of disturbances?" "Unexplained fluctuations in chakra," Jiraiya said. "We need to investigate these anomalies. It might give us more insight into the enemy's plans." Naruto and Sasuke agreed to help. They set out to investigate, following the trail of disturbances to a secluded part of the forest. The air was thick with tension, and Naruto could feel the dark energy seeping through the trees. As they approached a clearing, they spotted a group of figures cloaked in dark robes. The figures were gathered around a strange, glowing artifact. Naruto's eyes narrowed as she tried to sense their intentions. "Those must be more of Kaguya's followers," Sasuke said, his voice low. "We need to be careful." Naruto nodded, her focus sharp. "Let's find out what they're up to." They moved closer, hiding behind the trees to avoid detection. The figures were chanting in an unfamiliar language, their dark energy swirling around the artifact. Naruto could sense the power emanating from it, a twisted and malevolent force. One of the figures, a tall woman with long black hair, stepped forward. Her eyes glowed with an unsettling light. "The time is almost upon us. Once the artifact is activated, our plans will come to fruition." Another figure, shorter and with a hood covering most of their face, asked, "What is the purpose of this artifact?" The woman's voice was filled with dark satisfaction. This artifact will amplify Kaguya's influence, allowing us to control the very fabric of reality. With it, we will be unstoppable. Naruto exchanged a worried glance with Sasuke. We have to stop them from activating it. They moved into position, preparing to launch a surprise attack. Naruto focused her chakra, readying her fire and ice abilities. Sasuke prepared his Sharingan, analyzing the situation. With a swift motion, Naruto and Sasuke launched their attack, aiming to disrupt the ritual. The figures reacted quickly, the dark energy swirling around them as they countered the attack. The clearing erupted into chaos, the battle unfolding with intense energy. Naruto fought with all her strength, her fire and ice abilities combining to create powerful attacks. She focused on the woman with the glowing eyes, trying to prevent her from completing the ritual. Sasuke was by her side, using his skills to deflect and counter the dark energy. Despite their efforts, the artifact continued to glow, its power growing stronger. Naruto could feel the pressure of its dark influence, pushing against her senses. She knew they had to act quickly. Focus on disrupting the ritual. Sasuke shouted. We have to destroy the artifact. Naruto nodded, her determination unwavering. She concentrated her chakra into a powerful fireball, directing it towards the artifact. The fireball collided with the artifact, causing a massive explosion of light and energy. The figures staggered, their dark energy faltering. The woman with the glowing eyes screamed in frustration as the artifact's power began to wane. The remaining figures tried to regroup, but the damage had been done. Naruto and Sasuke pressed their advantage, their combined attacks pushing the figures back. The woman with the glowing eyes, her dark aura fading, glared at them with hatred. This isn't the end, she spat. Kaguya's will cannot be thwarted so easily. With a final surge of dark energy, the figures retreated into the shadows, leaving the clearing in silence. Naruto and Sasuke, breathing heavily, looked around at the aftermath of the battle. Jiraiya arrived shortly after, his expression grave. Are you both alright? We're fine, Naruto said, her voice tired but resolute. But we need to find out more about this artifact and its purpose. Jiraiya nodded. We'll investigate further. For now, get some rest. You've both done well. As they headed back to the village, Naruto felt a mix of relief and determination. The battle had been challenging, but they had managed to prevent the immediate threat. However, the shadow of Kaguya's influence still loomed, and she knew the fight was far from over. That night, Naruto sat in her room, her mind racing with thoughts of the day's events. She replayed the battle in her mind, analyzing her actions and trying to understand the significance of the artifact. A soft knock on her door interrupted her thoughts. It was Sasuke, his face serious but gentle. Can I come in? He asked. Naruto nodded, inviting him in. Of course. Sasuke sat down beside her, his presence a comforting reminder of their shared struggle. I wanted to check in and see how you're doing. Naruto sighed, her exhaustion evident. I'm tired, but I'm okay. The battle was intense, and I'm still trying to process everything. You did well today, Sasuke said, his voice steady. You've grown a lot, and your control over your powers is impressive. We're making progress. Naruto appreciated his support. Thank you, Sasuke. I just hope we're doing enough. There's still so much we don't know. We'll find the answers, Sasuke assured her. We'll keep pushing forward and uncover the truth. Naruto nodded, feeling a bit more at ease. I know. With you and Jiraiya by my side, I feel like we can face whatever comes next. Sasuke smiled, a rare expression of warmth. We're a team. We'll get through this together. As he left her room, Naruto felt a renewed sense of determination. The path ahead was uncertain, but with her allies' support and her growing strength, she was ready to confront the challenges that awaited. Chapter 5: Shadows and Revelations. The morning sun filtered through the curtains of Naruto's room, casting a soft light on her face. She stretched, feeling the lingering fatigue from the previous day's battle, but also a growing sense of resolve. Today, she would continue her quest to uncover the truth about Kaguya's plans and the mysterious artifact. She met Sasuke and Jiraiya at the training ground. Sasuke was already there, practicing his techniques with precision. Jiraiya, leaning against a tree, greeted them with a serious look. "Morning," Jiraiya said. "Today, we're going to focus on gathering more information about the dark figures and the artifact." Naruto nodded. "What's the plan?" "We've identified several locations where the dark energy disturbances have been strong," Jiraiya explained. "We'll visit these sites to search for clues." They set out, traveling to the first location, a secluded cave in the mountains. The air was cool and crisp as they approached, and Naruto could sense the lingering traces of dark energy. They entered the cave, its interior dimly lit by their torches. As they explored, Sasuke's keen eyes noticed a faint glow on the cave walls. "There's something here," he said, pointing to the inscriptions etched into the stone. Naruto examined the inscriptions, her brow furrowing. "These symbols look familiar. I think they're related to the artifact." Jiraiya studied the symbols as well. They appear to be part of an ancient sealing technique. It might be connected to the artifact's activation. They carefully copied the inscriptions, hoping to decipher their meaning later. As they left the cave, Naruto felt a sense of urgency. "We need to find out more about these symbols, and how they relate to Kaguya's plans." Their next stop was a ruined temple on the outskirts of the village. The temple's once grand structure was now in ruins, overgrown with vegetation. They carefully navigated the debris, searching for any signs of dark energy. Inside the temple, Naruto and Sasuke discovered a hidden chamber. In the center of the chamber lay an ancient scroll, covered in dust. Jiraiya examined it, his expression thoughtful. "This scroll might hold important information," Jiraiya said. "We should take it back to the village for further study." They returned to Konoha, where the scroll was analyzed by the village's scholars. After several hours of research, they gathered to discuss their findings. Jiraiya laid out the scroll and the copied inscriptions. The scroll contains details about a powerful sealing technique used to contain dark energies. It seems to be a key part of Kaguya's plan. Naruto looked at the scroll, her concern growing. "How does this help us stop her?" Jiraiya nodded toward the copied inscriptions. "These symbols are part of the sealing technique. If we can understand them fully, we might be able to counteract Kaguya's influence." Sasuke, studying the symbols, added, "We need to find more information about the sealing technique's counterpart. It might give us a way to neutralize the artifact's power." Naruto agreed, determined to press on. "Let's find out everything we can. We have to be prepared for whatever comes next." Their next mission was to search for any remaining artifacts or remnants of the sealing technique. They traveled to ancient ruins and old temples, encountering various challenges along the way. Each location provided new clues, but also revealed more about the extent of Kaguya's influence. As they delved deeper into their investigation, Naruto began to notice patterns in the dark energy disturbances. They seemed to be converging on a specific location, an ancient fortress hidden deep in the forest. "We need to investigate this fortress," Jiraiya said. "It could be the key to understanding Kaguya's plans." They made their way to the fortress, its imposing structure standing silent and foreboding amidst the trees. The entrance was partially hidden by vines, and the air was thick with an ominous energy. Inside, the fortress was eerily quiet. The walls were lined with ancient symbols and artifacts, some of which seemed to resonate with the dark energy Naruto had sensed. As they explored the fortress, they discovered a hidden chamber at its core. The chamber contained a large, dark crystal, pulsating with malevolent energy. Naruto's heart sank as she realized the significance of the crystal. "This must be the source of the dark energy," she said, her voice filled with determination. "If we can destroy it, we might be able to weaken Kaguya's influence." Sasuke and Jiraiya agreed. They prepared to attack the crystal, but as they approached, a powerful force erupted from it, sending them reeling. A dark figure emerged from the shadows, its presence imposing and intimidating. "You're meddling in things you don't understand," the figure said, its voice echoing with dark power. "Kaguya's plans are beyond your comprehension." Naruto stood firm, her resolve unshaken. "We won't let you succeed. We're here to stop you and protect our world." The figure laughed, a chilling sound that sent shivers down their spines. "You're too late. Kaguya's power will soon be unstoppable." The battle began, the dark figure unleashing waves of dark energy that clashed with Naruto's fire and ice abilities. Sasuke's Sharingan flared, allowing him to anticipate and counter the attacks. Jiraiya fought with skill and precision, his techniques complementing Naruto and Sasuke's efforts. Despite their combined strength, the dark figure proved to be a formidable opponent. The crystal's dark energy seemed to enhance the figure's abilities, making the battle more challenging. Naruto focused on disrupting the dark energy, her fire and ice abilities working in tandem to create powerful attacks. She aimed at the crystal, determined to weaken its influence. Sasuke and Jiraiya provided support, their attacks coordinated to keep the dark figure at bay. As the battle raged on, Naruto's determination grew stronger. She knew that defeating the dark figure and destroying the crystal were crucial to their success. With a final surge of energy, she launched a powerful fireball at the crystal, causing it to shatter in a brilliant explosion of light. The dark figure screamed in rage as the crystal's power was disrupted. The dark energy around them began to dissipate, and the figure's strength waned. With one final, powerful attack, they defeated the dark figure, their victory hard-won. Breathing heavily, Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya stood amidst the wreckage, their faces reflecting a mix of relief and exhaustion. The fortress was silent once more, the dark crystal's influence no longer threatening their world. "We did it," Naruto said, her voice filled with a mixture of exhaustion and triumph. "But we still have more to uncover about Kaguya's plans." Jiraiya nodded, his expression thoughtful. "This battle was a significant step forward. We've disrupted their plans. But we need to stay vigilant. There's more to discover." As they left the fortress, Naruto felt a renewed sense of determination. The fight against Kaguya was far from over, but with each challenge they faced, they grew stronger and more resolute. Chapter 6: Secrets of the Past. The early morning sun illuminated the village, casting long shadows over the streets as Naruto walked with Sasuke and Jiraiya toward the Hokage's office. The previous day's battle had left them physically drained, but their spirits were high, driven by the need to uncover more about Kaguya's plans. As they arrived at the office, Tsunade greeted them with a serious expression. "I've been briefed on your recent mission. What did you find?" Naruto stepped forward. "We discovered a hidden fortress with a dark crystal that seemed to be the source of the dark energy. We destroyed the crystal and defeated a dark figure guarding it." Tsunade's eyes narrowed in concern. "That's significant progress, but it sounds like Kaguya's plans are more complex than we thought. We need to learn more about her past and her motivations. Jiraiya nodded. We believe the artifacts and symbols are connected to an ancient sealing technique. We need to delve deeper into their origins. Tsunade considered this for a moment. There's an old archive in the village library that might hold the key to understanding these symbols. It contains records from the time of the Sage of Six Paths. They made their way to the village library, an ancient building filled with scrolls and books. The library's interior was vast and lined with shelves that reached the ceiling. An old librarian greeted them and guided them to a section dedicated to historical records. Naruto and Sasuke began sifting through the scrolls and books, searching for any information related to the dark symbols and sealing techniques. Hours passed as they carefully examined each document, their eyes scanning for anything that could be useful. Sasuke found a dusty scroll, tucked away in a corner. This looks promising. It mentions a powerful sealing technique used to contain ancient evils. Jiraiya examined the scroll. This technique was used by the Sage of Six Paths to imprison dark entities. It might be related to what we encountered. Naruto read over Jiraiya's shoulder, her brow furrowing. It describes a ritual involving multiple artifacts and a specific set of symbols. If we can decipher these symbols, we might be able to find a way to counteract Kaguya's plans. They copied the relevant sections of the scroll and continued their research. As they worked, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to Kaguya's plans, something beyond the dark crystals and symbols. As evening approached, Tsunade joined them in the library. Have you found anything useful? Jiraiya nodded. We've uncovered some details about an ancient sealing technique, but we still need to understand how it connects to Kaguya's plans. Tsunade's expression was thoughtful. We should consult with the elders. They may have additional insights into the ancient techniques and Kaguya's past. The next day, Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya met with the village elders. They gathered in a traditional meeting room, its walls adorned with old scrolls and paintings depicting the history of Konoha. The eldest elder, a wise man with a long beard, studied the scrolls Naruto and her team had brought. These symbols are indeed part of an ancient sealing technique. They were used to contain powerful dark entities long ago. He paused, his eyes reflecting a deep knowledge. Kaguya Ootsutsuki was one of the most feared beings in history. Her descent to Earth and her subsequent actions are shrouded in legend. The technique used to imprison her was crucial in maintaining balance. Naruto leaned forward. What can you tell us about the ritual and the artifacts mentioned in the scrolls? The elder continued, the ritual required 3 key artifacts, the moon's tear, the sun's radiance, and the earth's heart. These artifacts were used to create a powerful seal. Kaguya's influence is tied to these artifacts. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. Where can we find these artifacts? The elder sighed. Their locations have been lost to history. However, there are legends of their whereabouts. They might be hidden in ancient ruins or protected by powerful guardians. Naruto felt a surge of determination. We need to find these artifacts to stop Kaguya. Do you have any leads or clues? The elder nodded. There is an ancient map that may hold clues to the artifacts' locations. It's said to be kept in a hidden vault beneath the village's old shrine. They thanked the elder and made their way to the old shrine. The shrine was located on a hill overlooking the village, its appearance weathered by time. Inside, they found a hidden entrance leading to a vault beneath the shrine. The vault was dark and filled with cobwebs. They carefully navigated through it, their torches casting flickering shadows on the walls. In the center of the vault, they found an old chest covered in dust. Jiraiya opened the chest, revealing an ancient map and several scrolls. The map was detailed, showing various locations marked with symbols. One location stood out, marked with a symbol resembling the moon's tear. "This must be one of the artifact's locations," Jiraiya said, studying the map. "We need to investigate further." They prepared for their journey, gathering supplies and making plans. The first location on the map led them to a dense forest rumored to be home to ancient guardians. As they ventured into the forest, the atmosphere grew heavy with a sense of ancient power. The trees were tall and dense, their leaves rustling softly in the wind. Naruto felt a growing sense of anticipation and unease. After several hours of travel, they arrived at a clearing with an ancient temple in the center. The temple's architecture was intricate, with symbols and carvings depicting celestial beings. "This is the place," Naruto said, her voice filled with awe. "The moon's tear should be here." They entered the temple, their footsteps echoing in the vast hall. The interior was adorned with ancient murals and statues, their eyes seemingly watching them. As they explored the temple, they encountered several traps and puzzles designed to protect the artifact. Sasuke's skill and Jiraiya's knowledge helped them navigate through the challenges, leading them to a hidden chamber. In the chamber, they found a pedestal with a glowing orb resting on it. The orb radiated a soft, blue light, and the symbol on the pedestal matched the moon's tear on the map. Naruto approached the pedestal, her heart pounding with excitement. "We found it. The moon's tear." As she reached for the orb, the temple's protective mechanisms activated, and dark figures emerged from the shadows. The figures were spectral and menacing, their forms shifting with dark energy. "Defend the artifact!" Jiraiya shouted. A fierce battle ensued, with Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya fighting against the dark figures. Naruto's fire and ice techniques clashed with the spectral enemies, while Sasuke's Sharingan and Jiraiya's techniques provided crucial support. Despite their efforts, the dark figures were relentless, their attacks driven by a dark force. The battle was intense, and Naruto's focus remained on protecting the moon's tear. With a final, powerful strike, they managed to defeat the dark figures. The chamber fell silent once more, the orb's glow illuminating their faces. Naruto carefully lifted the moon's tear from the pedestal. "We've secured the first artifact. Now, we need to find the others." As they left the temple, Naruto felt a sense of accomplishment but also a deepening resolve. The journey to stop Kaguya was far from over, but they were one step closer to uncovering the truth and securing the remaining artifacts. Chapter 7: The Guardian's Challenge. The journey from the ancient temple to their next destination was filled with anticipation and determination. The moon's tear, their first artifact, was safely secured, but Naruto knew that finding the remaining artifacts would not be easy. Their next goal was to locate the sun's radiance, which according to the map, was hidden deep within the heart of a treacherous desert. As they traveled, they prepared themselves for the harsh environment and any potential threats they might face. The desert stretched out before them, a vast expanse of golden sand under the blazing sun. The heat was intense, and the sand seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly glow. Naruto shielded her eyes with her hand, scanning the horizon. "This place is enormous," Sasuke said, his voice barely audible over the howling wind. "How are we going to find the artifact here?" Jiraiya consulted the map. The map indicates a location marked with a sun symbol. "We should head toward that area. There might be hidden clues or structures that lead us to the artifact." The team set off across the desert, their movements slow and deliberate. The sun was relentless, and the heat made their progress difficult. They took regular breaks to hydrate and rest, but the harsh conditions took their toll. As evening approached, the temperature began to drop slightly, providing a small reprieve from the desert's scorching heat. They found shelter in a rocky outcrop, where they could set up camp for the night. Naruto sat by the campfire, studying the map once more. The symbol on the map looks like it's pointing toward an ancient ruin. We should be able to find some clues there. Sasuke, leaning against a rock, nodded. Let's get some rest. We'll need our strength for whatever challenges lie ahead. The night passed with little disturbance, and as dawn broke, they resumed their journey. The desert was eerily quiet, with only the occasional rustle of wind through the sand. The sense of isolation was palpable, but Naruto felt a strong resolve to press on. After several hours of travel, they reached the area marked on the map. The landscape was dotted with the remains of ancient structures, half buried in the sand. They approached a large, crumbling archway that seemed to be the entrance to a hidden chamber. This must be it, Jiraiya said, examining the archway. Let's be cautious. There could be traps or guardians inside. They entered the archway and found themselves in a vast, dimly lit chamber. The walls were adorned with intricate carvings depicting scenes of celestial beings and solar motifs. At the center of the chamber stood a large pedestal, upon which rested a glowing orb, the sun's radiance. As they approached the pedestal, a deep, resonant voice echoed through the chamber. Who dares to claim the sun's radiance? A figure emerged from the shadows, clad in golden armor and bearing a staff with a sun emblem. The figure's eyes were fierce and commanding. I am the guardian of the sun's radiance, the figure announced. To claim the artifact, you must prove your worth by overcoming my challenge. Naruto stepped forward, her determination unwavering. We seek the sun's radiance to stop a great evil. We're ready to face your challenge. The guardian nodded, raising his staff. Very well. The challenge will test your resolve and strength. Prepare yourselves. The chamber transformed, the walls shifting to reveal a series of obstacles and traps. The floor was covered with moving platforms, and the air was filled with a maze of energy beams and sharp spikes. Stay alert, Jiraiya warned. We need to navigate through this challenge together. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya began to traverse the chamber, carefully avoiding the traps and obstacles. Naruto used her fire and ice techniques to clear obstacles and protect her teammates, while Sasuke's agility and Jiraiya's experience helped them navigate the complex environment. As they progressed, they encountered various trials, riddles to solve, physical challenges to overcome, and combat tests against conjured enemies. Each trial was designed to test their strength, teamwork, and perseverance. At one point, they faced a series of shifting platforms suspended above a pit of fire. Naruto used her ice abilities to create solid platforms and guide her team across safely. This is tougher than I expected, Sasuke said, his expression focused. But we're making progress. Finally, they reached the end of the chamber, where the guardian awaited them. The guardian's expression was one of approval. You have proven your worth, the guardian said. The sun's radiance is yours. With a wave of his staff, the guardian lifted the orb from the pedestal and handed it to Naruto. The orb was warm to the touch, its light glowing brightly. Naruto accepted the sun's radiance with a grateful nod. Thank you. We'll use this to protect the world from the coming darkness. The guardian nodded, his form beginning to fade. Remember, the true strength lies in your unity and determination. Farewell, and may your path be clear. As the guardian disappeared, the chamber began to revert to its original state. The obstacles vanished, and the room became calm once more. The team made their way out of the chamber and back into the desert. With the sun's radiance secured, they prepared to continue their quest. The map indicated that the next artifact, the Earth's heart, was located in a distant mountain range. They knew their journey was far from over, but their resolve was stronger than ever. As they set off toward the mountains, Naruto reflected on their progress. They had faced numerous challenges and grown stronger as a team. Each artifact brought them closer to their goal, and the knowledge they gained from their trials would be invaluable in the battles to come. Chapter 8: The Earth's Heart. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the rocky landscape as Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya approached the base of the mountain range. The cold air was a stark contrast to the desert heat they had left behind. The path to the Earth's heart, the next artifact on their quest, was rumored to be just as treacherous as the desert, if not more so. The mountains loomed ahead, their peaks shrouded in mist. Naruto squinted, trying to make out the details against the darkening sky. According to the map, the Earth's heart should be in a hidden cavern somewhere in these mountains. Sasuke adjusted his gear, his expression thoughtful. These mountains are known for their hidden paths and traps. We need to be cautious. Jiraiya, carrying a map and a compass, nodded. We'll need to find an entrance to the cavern. The map shows a series of symbols that might lead us to it. As they began their ascent, the temperature dropped even further. The wind howled through the peaks, and the terrain became increasingly rugged. The path was narrow and treacherous, with steep cliffs on either side. This place gives me the creeps, Sasuke remarked, his eyes scanning the surroundings. It feels like we're being watched. Naruto frowned, feeling a chill, despite her determination. Stay focused. We can't afford to get distracted. Hours passed as they climbed higher. The rugged terrain tested their endurance, and their pace slowed considerably. They stopped briefly to rest, huddling together for warmth. I'm starting to miss the desert, Jiraiya said with a half-smile. At least it was warmer. Naruto chuckled despite the cold. Let's not complain. We have to keep moving. As night fell, the temperature plummeted, and the cold was almost unbearable. They pressed on, guided by the map's symbols. Just as they were about to lose hope, they spotted a faint light coming from a cave entrance, partially concealed by rocks. There. Naruto pointed, her voice filled with relief. That must be the entrance. They made their way to the cave, carefully navigating the rocky terrain. The entrance was small and narrow, but it opened up into a large chamber once they were inside. The air was warmer here, and the cave was illuminated by a soft, golden glow. This must be it, Jiraiya said, examining the surroundings. The Earth's heart should be somewhere in this cavern. The chamber was filled with ancient carvings and statues, each depicting scenes of nature and earth. At the center of the room was a large stone pedestal, upon which rested a glowing, emerald-green gem, the Earth's heart. As they approached the pedestal, a low, rumbling voice filled the chamber. Who dares to take the Earth's heart? A figure emerged from the shadows, cloaked in robes made of living vines and earth. The figure's eyes glowed with a deep green light, and their presence exuded a sense of ancient power. I am the guardian of the Earth's heart, the figure announced. To claim this artifact, you must prove your worth through a trial of nature. Naruto stepped forward, her resolve unwavering. We seek the Earth's heart to protect the world from impending danger. We're prepared for any trial you set before us. The guardian regarded her with a piercing gaze. Very well. Your trial will test your harmony with nature and your ability to overcome the elements. With a wave of the guardian's hand, the chamber transformed. The ground shook, and the chamber was filled with dense foliage, streams of water, and shifting rock formations. The temperature fluctuated wildly, and the environment became chaotic. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya quickly adapted to the changing conditions. Naruto used her ice and fire abilities to control the temperature and navigate through the shifting terrain. Sasuke's agility and strength helped them overcome physical obstacles, while Jiraiya's experience guided them through the trial. At one point, they faced a series of rapidly moving rock platforms suspended above a chasm. Naruto created ice bridges to connect the platforms, allowing her team to cross safely. "This is intense," Sasuke said, focusing on the shifting platforms. "We need to stay coordinated." Jiraiya nodded in agreement. "Keep an eye on each other and adapt to the changes." The trial continued with various challenges, solving nature-based puzzles, battling elemental creatures, and overcoming physical obstacles. Each trial tested their teamwork, resourcefulness, and determination. As they progressed, they encountered a final challenge, a massive wall of vines and roots blocking their path. The vines moved erratically, and the wall seemed impenetrable. Naruto took a deep breath, her eyes glowing with determination. "I'll handle this." Using her fire abilities, she burned away the outer layers of the vines, revealing a path through the wall. The others helped clear the remaining obstacles, and they made their way through to the other side. At last, they reached the heart of the cavern, where the Earth's heart lay upon a stone pedestal, glowing brightly. The guardian appeared once more, his expression approving. "You have passed the trial," the guardian said. "The Earth's heart is yours." With a gesture, the guardian lifted the gem from the pedestal and handed it to Naruto. The gem was warm and pulsated with a soothing, green light. Naruto accepted the Earth's heart with gratitude. "Thank you. We will use this to protect the world from the threats it faces." The guardian nodded, his form beginning to fade. "Remember, the strength of nature is both nurturing and destructive. Use this power wisely." As the guardian disappeared, the chamber began to return to its original state. The chaos subsided, and the environment became calm once more. The team made their way out of the cavern and back to the base of the mountain. With the Earth's heart secured, they prepared to continue their quest. The map indicated that the next artifact, the sea's breath, was located in a distant coastal region. They knew that their journey was far from over, but their resolve was stronger than ever. As they set off toward the coast, Naruto reflected on their journey so far. They had faced numerous trials and grown stronger as a team. Each artifact brought them closer to their goal, and their experiences had forged a deep bond between them. With renewed determination, they headed toward the coast, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Chapter 9: The Sea's Breath. The coastal winds greeted Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya as they arrived at the edge of the sprawling sea. The rhythmic crash of waves against the shore was a welcome change from the rugged mountain terrain they had just left behind. The air was salty and invigorating, but the team knew that the sea's breath, their next artifact, would likely bring its own set of challenges. The map indicated that the sea's breath was hidden within an underwater cavern. The entrance was said to be concealed beneath the waves, requiring both skill and perseverance to locate. "Looks like we'll need to dive into the ocean," Jiraiya said, examining the map. "We should prepare ourselves for the underwater exploration." Sasuke glanced at the horizon where the sea met the sky. "Let's make sure we have everything we need. We'll be dealing with currents and possibly sea creatures." Naruto nodded, her gaze fixed on the churning waters. "We'll need to be cautious. The underwater environment can be unpredictable." They set up a temporary camp on the beach and began organizing their supplies. Jiraiya took out a series of scrolls, which contained various jutsus designed for underwater travel. "We'll need to use these," Jiraiya explained, unrolling one of the scrolls. These jutsus will help us breathe underwater and navigate through the currents. Sasuke activated his Sharingan to enhance his perception and study the scrolls. This will be useful. Let's review the jutsus to make sure we're ready. After reviewing the jutsus and making necessary preparations, the team approached the water's edge. Jiraiya performed the necessary seals and cast the spell, creating a protective barrier around them that would allow them to breathe underwater. As they submerged into the sea, the world transformed into a realm of blue and green. Schools of fish darted past, and the ocean floor stretched out beneath them. The currents tugged at their bodies, but the barrier kept them safe and stable. "This is incredible," Naruto said, her voice carrying through the water. "But we need to stay focused." The map symbols guided them toward the location of the underwater cavern. They swam steadily, navigating through coral reefs and underwater rock formations. The sea life around them was diverse and vibrant, but they maintained their focus on finding the entrance. After several hours of swimming, they spotted a dark opening in the side of an underwater cliff. The entrance to the cavern was partially obscured by seaweed and rocks. "There it is," Sasuke pointed out. "Let's go inside." They entered the cavern, which was illuminated by a soft, bioluminescent glow from various marine organisms. The cavern walls were covered with intricate carvings of sea creatures and ocean patterns. As they ventured deeper into the cavern, the water grew colder and the currents stronger. The cavern twisted and turned, leading them through a series of narrow passages and large chambers. Suddenly, a deep rumbling echoed through the cavern, and the water began to churn violently. An enormous sea serpent, scales glistening with a deep blue hue, emerged from the darkness. Its eyes were fierce and intelligent. "Prepare yourselves," Jiraiya shouted, his voice echoing through the water. "This must be the guardian of the sea's breath." The sea serpent's roar reverberated through the cavern, and it lunged toward them with incredible speed. Naruto and Sasuke quickly took defensive positions, ready to face the formidable opponent. Naruto used her ice abilities to create a barrier of ice between them and the serpent. The serpent's scales clashed against the ice, sending shards of ice flying. Sasuke moved swiftly, using his lightning techniques to strike at the serpent. "We need to find a way to weaken it." The sea serpent retaliated with powerful water jets and swipes of its tail. The currents in the cavern became chaotic, making it difficult to maintain their footing. Jiraiya summoned his own water-based jutsus to counter the serpent's attacks. "We need to work together. Focus on its weak points." Naruto and Sasuke coordinated their attacks, with Naruto creating ice projectiles and Sasuke launching lightning strikes. Jiraiya used his water jutsus to create a vortex, drawing the serpent's attention away from his teammates. After a fierce battle, Naruto spotted a weak spot on the serpent's underbelly. "Now's our chance. Aim for the weak spot." With precise coordination, they unleashed a combined attack. Naruto's ice projectiles struck the serpent's underbelly, followed by Sasuke's lightning strike. The serpent let out a final roar before collapsing, its massive form sinking to the cavern floor. The water in the cavern settled, and the once turbulent environment became calm once more. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya took a moment to catch their breath. "That was intense," Sasuke said, still catching his breath. "But we did it." Jiraiya nodded in approval. "Well done. Let's find the sea's breath and get out of here." They continued through the cavern until they reached a large, open chamber. At the center of the chamber was a pedestal holding the sea's breath, an exquisite, azure blue crystal that pulsed with a calming rhythm. Naruto approached the pedestal with reverence. "This must be it." As she reached for the sea's breath, the crystal emitted a soft, soothing light. The guardian's voice echoed through the chamber. You have proven your strength and unity. The sea's breath is yours. Naruto carefully lifted the crystal from the pedestal. Its cool, calming energy flowed through her, providing a sense of peace and accomplishment. Thank you, Naruto said, her voice carrying a note of gratitude. We will use this to protect the world from the darkness that threatens it. The chamber began to revert to its original state, and the team made their way back to the entrance of the cavern. The sea serpent's remains had vanished, leaving no trace of their fierce battle. As they emerged from the cavern and surfaced into the open sea, the sunlight glistened on the water. They swam back to the shore, their spirits high with the success of their quest. With the sea's breath secured, they prepared to continue their journey. The map indicated that their next destination was a remote island, where the final artifact, the sky's essence, awaited them. Naruto looked at her friends with determination. We've come this far, and we're not stopping now. Let's head to the island and complete our quest. With renewed resolve, they set off toward the island, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Each artifact brought them closer to their goal, and their bond as a team had never been stronger. Chapter 10: The Island of Secrets. The journey to the remote island was both thrilling and daunting. As Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya approached the island on a small boat, the setting sun painted the sky in shades of orange and pink. The island, cloaked in a thick mist, seemed to loom in the distance, its silhouette barely discernible. This island has an eerie feeling about it, Jiraiya remarked, peering through the mist. Stay alert. Naruto nodded, her gaze fixed on the island. We're close. The map indicates that the sky's essence is somewhere on this island. As they docked on a rocky shore, they made their way onto the island, the mist swirling around them. The terrain was rugged, with dense foliage and steep cliffs. The air was filled with the sounds of distant wildlife, and the atmosphere felt charged with a sense of mystery. This place gives me the creeps, Sasuke said, his Sharingan activated to scan their surroundings. But we need to find that artifact. They began their search, navigating through the thick vegetation and rocky terrain. The map provided vague directions, indicating that the sky's essence was hidden within an ancient temple at the heart of the island. The group ventured deeper into the island, their path becoming increasingly treacherous. They encountered traps and puzzles designed to protect the temple. Each challenge tested their skills and teamwork. One of the first obstacles was a series of intricate stone tiles on the ground. The tiles had various symbols, and stepping on the wrong one triggered a barrage of arrows from hidden compartments. Careful where you step, Jiraiya warned, examining the tiles. We need to figure out the correct sequence. Sasuke studied the symbols, his Sharingan revealing hidden patterns. I think I see a pattern. We need to step on the tiles in the order that matches the symbols on the walls. Naruto followed Sasuke's instructions, stepping on the tiles in the correct sequence. The arrow ceased, and a hidden passageway opened up. Nice work, Naruto said, relieved. Let's move. They continued through the passageway, which led them to a large, dimly lit chamber. The chamber was filled with ancient carvings, depicting celestial events and mythical creatures. In the center of the room was a large pedestal with a crystal sphere, the sky's essence. As they approached the pedestal, a voice echoed through the chamber. You have come far. But this is not the end of your journey. A figure emerged from the shadows, an ancient guardian of the temple. His eyes glowed with a supernatural light, and he wore ornate robes adorned with celestial symbols. I am the keeper of the sky's essence, the guardian said, his voice resonating with authority. To claim the sky's essence, you must prove your worthiness. Jiraiya stepped forward. We've faced many trials to get here. We're ready for whatever challenge you have. The guardian nodded. Very well. To prove your worth, you must pass 3 tests: courage, wisdom, and unity. The chamber transformed, revealing 3 separate areas for each test. The first test, courage, involved facing their deepest fears. A dark fog enveloped the area, and terrifying visions appeared before them. Naruto's vision showed her surrounded by the enemies she had fought and lost to. Her heart raced, but she focused on her inner strength, pushing through the fear. Sasuke faced a vision of losing his closest friends, his resolve wavering. But he remembered their support and pushed forward, determined not to succumb to the fear. Jiraiya's test involved confronting his past mistakes and regrets. He faced his own failures, but drew strength from his desire to protect those he cared about. Together, they overcame their fears and emerged from the dark fog. The guardian, observing their courage, nodded approvingly. You have passed the test of courage, the guardian said. Now, you must prove your wisdom. The second area was filled with complex riddles and puzzles. Ancient scripts and symbols covered the walls, and they had to decipher the clues to proceed. Naruto used her intellect to solve the riddles, while Sasuke's analytical skills helped interpret the symbols. Jiraiya provided insight based on his extensive knowledge of ancient lore. After solving the puzzles, a door opened, leading them to the final test, unity. They entered a large arena where they were confronted with illusions of themselves, each representing their own strengths and weaknesses. Work together to overcome these illusions, the guardian instructed. Only by combining your strengths will you succeed. The team faced their illusions, each reflecting their fears and doubts. They had to collaborate and support each other to overcome the challenges posed by their illusions. Naruto and Sasuke worked in sync, using their combined abilities to counter the illusion's attacks. Jiraiya provided guidance and encouragement, helping them stay focused. Through their teamwork and unity, they defeated the illusions and completed the final test. The chamber returned to its original state, and the guardian approached them with the sky's essence. You have proven yourselves worthy, the guardian said, handing over the crystal sphere. The sky's essence is now yours. Naruto took the sky's essence, feeling its powerful energy resonate with her. The crystal was a vibrant blue, with swirling patterns that seemed to dance within its depths. Thank you, Naruto said, holding the crystal with reverence. We will use this to complete our mission and protect the world. With the sky's essence secured, the team made their way back to the shore. The mist had cleared, and the island's mysterious atmosphere had dissipated. Jiraiya looked at Naruto and Sasuke with pride. We've completed another leg of our journey. Only one artifact remains. Sasuke nodded, his expression determined. We're getting closer to our goal. Naruto looked at the horizon, where the setting sun cast a warm glow over the ocean. We've faced many challenges, but we're stronger for it. Let's continue our quest and find the final artifact. With renewed resolve, the team set sail, ready for the next phase of their journey. The sky's essence was a crucial part of their quest, and they were determined to see it through to the end. As they sailed away from the island, Naruto felt a sense of accomplishment and anticipation for what lay ahead. The final artifact was within reach, and they were one step closer to fulfilling their mission. Chapter 11: Echoes of the Past. The morning sun bathed the sea in a golden light as the team sailed towards their next destination. With the sky's essence safely secured, Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya prepared for the final leg of their quest. The ocean stretched endlessly before them, its calm surface a stark contrast to the trials they had faced. Jiraiya stood at the helm, adjusting the sails. Our next destination is the hidden shrine of the ancients. That's where the final artifact is believed to be hidden. Naruto leaned against the railing, looking out at the horizon. We've come so far. I hope we're ready for whatever challenges lie ahead. Sasuke joined her, his eyes scanning the sea. We've faced difficult trials before. We'll manage this one too. As they sailed, Jiraiya recounted the legends surrounding the hidden shrine. The shrine is said to be located on a remote island, hidden by powerful enchantments. Only those who prove themselves worthy can enter. The journey was long, and as night fell, the crew set up camp on the boat. They gathered around a small fire, sharing a meal. Do you think there will be more tests? Naruto asked, breaking the silence. It's possible, Jiraiya replied. The artifacts are protected by powerful forces. Each one has been more challenging than the last. Sasuke looked thoughtful. We should be prepared for anything. Our teamwork and determination will be our greatest assets. The next morning, the island came into view. It was lush and vibrant, with towering trees and cascading waterfalls. As they approached, the boat was guided into a hidden cove, revealing the entrance to the hidden shrine. They disembarked and made their way through the dense foliage, following a winding path that led to the shrine's entrance. The shrine was an ancient structure, overgrown with ivy and moss. The entrance was adorned with intricate carvings, depicting ancient battles and celestial beings. Looks like we've arrived, Jiraiya said, examining the carvings. Stay alert. This place is likely to be full of traps and puzzles. Naruto approached the entrance, where a large stone door stood partially ajar. She pushed it open, and the trio entered the shrine. Inside, the air was cool and musty, illuminated by the soft glow of bioluminescent plants. The interior was filled with elaborate murals and statues. In the center of the main chamber stood a pedestal with a shimmering, crystal-like artifact, the final piece they sought. Let's get it and get out of here, Sasuke said, his eyes scanning the room for potential dangers. As Naruto reached for the artifact, the shrine began to rumble. The murals on the walls shifted, revealing hidden passages and traps. The ground trembled, and the pedestal was surrounded by a barrier of swirling energy. This doesn't look good, Jiraiya said, drawing his kunai. We need to figure out how to deactivate the barrier. The team split up to investigate the chamber. Sasuke used his Sharingan to search for hidden mechanisms, while Naruto and Jiraiya examined the murals for clues. One of the murals depicted a celestial figure holding a staff. The staff was surrounded by symbols that matched those on the barrier. Naruto noticed that the symbols on the mural were aligned with specific constellations. I think we need to align the symbols with the constellations, Naruto suggested. It looks like the barrier might be linked to these constellations. Sasuke nodded in agreement. Let's try adjusting the symbols on the pedestal. If we can align them correctly, it might deactivate the barrier. Naruto and Sasuke worked together, using their knowledge of the constellations to adjust the symbols on the pedestal. As they made the final adjustments, the barrier began to flicker and waver. It's working! Jiraiya exclaimed. Keep going! With a final adjustment, the barrier dissolved, and the pedestal became accessible. Naruto carefully lifted the artifact, feeling its powerful energy resonate with her. Got it, Naruto said, holding the artifact up. Just as they were about to leave, a deep voice echoed through the chamber. You have done well to reach this point. But the true test lies ahead. From the shadows emerged a figure, an ancient guardian of the shrine, similar to the one they had encountered on the island. The guardian's presence was commanding, and his eyes glowed with a fierce intensity. The artifact you seek is not merely a prize, the guardian said. It holds the power to change the course of history. To prove your worthiness, you must face one final trial. What kind of trial? Jiraiya asked, stepping forward. The guardian raised his hand, and the chamber transformed. The walls and floor shifted, creating a labyrinth of shifting passages and illusions. This trial will test your resolve and your unity, the guardian explained. Only by working together can you find your way through the labyrinth and emerge victorious. The labyrinth was filled with challenges, traps, illusions, and puzzles that tested their teamwork and problem-solving skills. Each member of the team faced their own set of trials, confronting personal fears and doubts. Naruto navigated through a series of illusions that tested her courage and resolve. She faced visions of her past failures and the pressure of her responsibilities. Sasuke encountered a series of trials that challenged his determination and focus. He had to confront his own insecurities and doubts about his path. Jiraiya faced a series of tests that examined his wisdom and leadership. He had to guide his team through the labyrinth while facing his own inner struggles. Throughout the trial, the team worked together, supporting and encouraging each other. Their combined strength and unity allowed them to overcome each challenge. After what felt like hours, they reached the center of the labyrinth, where the final challenge awaited. The guardian stood before them, his gaze solemn. You have completed the trial, the guardian said. You have proven your worthiness. The artifact is now yours. Naruto and her team emerged from the labyrinth, exhausted but triumphant. The final artifact was a dazzling crystal, pulsing with energy. This is it, Naruto said, holding the artifact. We've completed our quest. Jiraiya smiled with pride. We've accomplished a great deal. Now we must return and prepare for the next phase of our mission. Sasuke nodded, his expression determined. We're ready for whatever comes next. As they made their way back to the boat, the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the shrine. The team reflected on their journey, grateful for their experiences and the bonds they had strengthened. With the final artifact in hand, they set sail once again, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. The journey had been long and arduous, but they had emerged stronger and more united. Naruto looked out at the horizon, her heart filled with anticipation for the future. The path ahead was uncertain, but with her friends by her side, she was ready to face whatever came next. Chapter 12: The Unraveling Mystery. The moon hung high in the night sky, casting its silver light over the tranquil sea. The boat rocked gently as Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya sailed back towards the Hidden Leaf Village. The journey had been long, but the acquisition of the final artifact filled them with a sense of accomplishment. Naruto leaned against the railing, the crystal artifact safely stored in a protective case beside her. It feels strange to be heading back, she said, her voice thoughtful. We've been on this quest for so long. What do you think awaits us back home? Jiraiya adjusted the sails, his gaze focused on the horizon. The world doesn't stand still. New challenges will undoubtedly arise. But having these artifacts will give us the tools we need to face them. Sasuke joined Naruto at the railing, looking out over the water. We've learned a lot on this journey. About ourselves and each other. Whatever comes next, we'll handle it together. The ship's creak was the only sound that accompanied their quiet reflections. As dawn approached, the silhouette of the Hidden Leaf Village appeared in the distance, its familiar buildings outlined against the morning sky. Upon arriving in the village, they were greeted with a mixture of relief and curiosity. The villagers gathered around, eager to hear about their journey and the artifacts they had secured. Hokage Tsunade awaited them at the village entrance. her expression a mix of concern and expectation. "Welcome back," Tsunade said, her gaze falling on the artifacts. "I trust your mission was successful?" "We succeeded," Jiraiya confirmed, presenting the artifacts. "We encountered many challenges, but we have all three now." Tsunade's eyes widened as she examined the artifacts. "These are powerful items. Their presence here could shift the balance of power. We need to be cautious." Naruto stepped forward, her expression serious. "We encountered an ancient guardian at the final shrine. He mentioned a greater threat that might be looming. We should investigate further." Tsunade nodded. "We will. For now, let's debrief and discuss our next steps." The team gathered in the Hokage's office. Tsunade laid out the artifacts on a table, their energy pulsing softly. "We need to understand their purpose and how to use them effectively. Any insights from your journey?" Jiraiya took a deep breath. Each artifact was protected by powerful trials. It seemed that they were not just tests of strength, but also of character. The final trial was especially revealing. Naruto nodded in agreement. The trials were meant to challenge us in ways that went beyond physical prowess. They forced us to confront our inner fears and doubts. Sasuke's eyes were intense as he spoke. "The artifacts are connected to an ancient prophecy. The Guardian hinted at a looming threat, and it's clear that these artifacts are part of a larger plan." Tsunade looked thoughtful. "The prophecy. I've heard rumors about it. But we need more information. The village archives might hold some clues. We'll start there." The team spent the rest of the day poring over ancient scrolls and records in the village archives. They searched for any mention of the artifacts and the prophecy that could shed light on the threat hinted at by the Guardian. As they worked, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the brink of uncovering something significant. "We need to find out what this prophecy is about. It might explain why these artifacts are so important." Jiraiya looked up from a scroll, his brow furrowed in concentration. "I think we're close. There's a reference here to an ancient conflict, something involving the Ootsutsuki clan." Sasuke's interest was piqued. "The Ootsutsuki clan? Could it be related to Kaguya?" Naruto nodded. "It's possible. We need to dig deeper." As the evening drew near, they finally uncovered a crucial scroll detailing an ancient prophecy about the return of a great evil, which could be tied to the artifacts. It spoke of a time when the world would face a great upheaval, and the artifacts would play a pivotal role in either saving or destroying it. "This prophecy is alarming," Tsunade said, reviewing the scroll. "It suggests that the artifacts could either protect us or bring about disaster. We need to prepare for both possibilities." Naruto's gaze was determined. "We must be ready. If there's a threat coming, we need to be prepared to face it." The following days were filled with preparation and planning. The team trained rigorously, honing their skills and strategies. They also worked on deciphering the remaining secrets of the artifacts, trying to understand how to harness their powers. One evening, as they gathered around a campfire outside the village, Jiraiya shared his thoughts. "We've faced many challenges, but this is different. The prophecy hints at something more profound, a threat that could affect the entire world." Sasuke looked into the fire, his expression thoughtful. "We need to ensure that we're not only prepared for battle, but also understand the deeper implications of our actions." Naruto nodded. "Our journey has been about more than just obtaining the artifacts. It's been about growth and understanding. We need to apply that wisdom now." As the campfire burned low, they discussed their plans and strategies for the upcoming challenges. They knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with danger, but they were ready to face it together. The night sky was clear, and the stars shone brightly above them. The team's camaraderie was stronger than ever, their resolve unwavering. As they prepared to embark on their next mission, they carried with them the lessons learned from their journey, the weight of the prophecy, and the hope that their combined strength would be enough to protect their world from the looming threat. Chapter 13, Shadows of the Past. The sun was just beginning to rise over the Hidden Leaf village, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. The air was crisp and filled with the promise of a new day. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya were already in the Hokage's office, ready for their briefing. Tsunade looked over the documents spread across her desk, her expression serious. The prophecy we uncovered speaks of a great upheaval. It's crucial we understand its implications fully. Naruto leaned forward. What have you found so far? Tsunade nodded. The prophecy mentions an ancient conflict involving the Ootsutsuki clan. It hints at a power that could either save or destroy the world. We need to locate more information about this power. Jiraiya scratched his chin thoughtfully. We should start by investigating ancient texts and talking to the most knowledgeable sources. The history of the Ootsutsuki clan might provide us with answers. Sasuke agreed. We should also consider reaching out to the Sage of the Six Paths. He might have insights into the prophecy and its connection to the artifacts. Tsunade's eyes narrowed. That's a good idea. We'll need to prepare for a journey to find the sage. In the meantime, I want you all to continue your training. We don't know what we'll face next. The team set out immediately. Their first destination was the ancient library hidden within the village. The library, protected by powerful seals, contained scrolls and texts about the world's history, including information on the Ootsutsuki clan. As they entered the dimly lit library, the scent of old parchment filled the air. Naruto ran her fingers over the spines of the dusty scrolls, her expression focused. There has to be something here that will help us understand the prophecy. Sasuke began pulling out scrolls, carefully examining their contents. Look for anything related to the Ootsutsuki clan or ancient battles. That's where we're most likely to find relevant information. Jiraiya, always the scholar, scanned the shelves for books on ancient prophecies and historical records. The more we understand about the Ootsutsuki clan's past, the better we can prepare for what's coming. Hours passed as they pored over texts and scrolls. The library's silence was broken only by the rustling of pages and the occasional muttered comment. As dusk approached, they finally uncovered a scroll detailing a pivotal battle involving the Ootsutsuki clan and a powerful artifact. This scroll describes a battle between the Ootsutsuki clan and a coalition of other clans, Naruto said, reading aloud. It mentions a powerful artifact that was central to the conflict. Sasuke's eyes widened. The artifact might be one of the ones we've encountered. This could be the key to understanding its true power. Jiraiya nodded. It's clear that the artifacts we have are deeply connected to this ancient conflict. We need to find out more about this artifact and its role in the prophecy. The team spent the next few days researching the artifact mentioned in the scroll. They discovered that it was a powerful relic known as the Celestial Prism, which had the ability to control space and time. The scroll also hinted that the prism was hidden away after the battle, to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. With this new information, the team prepared for their journey to seek out the Sage of the Six Paths. They knew that finding him would be challenging, but the answers he might provide were crucial. The journey took them through dense forests, over rugged mountains, and across vast plains. The landscape changed as they traveled, each new location bringing its own challenges. They encountered wild beasts, treacherous terrain, and harsh weather conditions, but their determination kept them moving forward. After days of travel, they finally reached the sacred mountain where the Sage of the Six Paths was said to reside. The mountain was shrouded in mist, and the path to the summit was steep and winding. Naruto looked up at the mountain, her determination unwavering. "We've come this far. We need to find the sage and get the answers we need." Sasuke nodded. "Let's be careful. The sage's domain is said to be protected by powerful illusions and traps." As they climbed the mountain, they encountered various obstacles designed to test their resolve. They faced illusions that challenged their perceptions and traps that tested their agility and teamwork. Each trial brought them closer together, reinforcing their bonds and their commitment to their mission. At last, they reached the summit, where a serene temple stood amidst the clouds. The temple's architecture was ancient and majestic, with intricate carvings and a sense of timeless wisdom. Inside the temple, they were greeted by a figure cloaked in light. The Sage of the Six Paths stood before them, his presence radiating power and wisdom. "Welcome, travelers," the sage said, his voice calm and resonant. "I have been expecting you." Naruto stepped forward. "We seek your guidance. We've uncovered a prophecy that speaks of a great upheaval and the role of certain artifacts. We need to understand their significance." The sage nodded, his gaze penetrating. "The prophecy speaks of a time when the world will face a great threat. The artifacts you possess are indeed powerful, and their role in the prophecy is critical." Jiraiya spoke up. "What can you tell us about the celestial prism and its connection to the Ootsutsuki clan?" The sage's expression grew serious. The celestial prism was a powerful artifact created by the Ootsutsuki clan. It has the ability to manipulate space and time, making it a weapon of immense power. In the wrong hands, it could bring about great destruction. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. "And how can we ensure it doesn't fall into those hands?" The sage's gaze softened. "The key to controlling the celestial prism lies in understanding its true nature. It is not just a tool of power, but a reflection of the user's intentions. To wield it responsibly, one must have a clear and just purpose." Naruto's voice was resolute. "We need to protect the world from the threat mentioned in the prophecy. How can we prepare for what's to come?" The sage offered a faint smile. "Your journey has already prepared you in many ways. The trials you've faced and the bonds you've forged are crucial. Trust in your strength and wisdom. The path ahead will be challenging, but you have the power to shape the outcome." With their mission clear and their resolve strengthened, the team left the sage's temple, ready to confront the challenges that lay ahead. They knew that the journey was far from over, but they were prepared to face whatever came next with courage and unity. As they descended the mountain, the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the landscape. The team's spirits were high, their determination unshakable. They had gained valuable insights from the sage, and with this knowledge, they were ready to face the looming threat and fulfill their destiny. Chapter 14: The Darkening Storm. The Hidden Leaf Village had settled into a routine of cautious optimism following the team's return from the Sage of the Six Paths. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya had gathered in the Hokage's office to discuss their next steps. The room buzzed with a sense of urgency as they prepared for what lay ahead. Tsunade looked up from her desk, her face etched with concern. "The information we've gathered is crucial, but the situation is growing more urgent. We need to act quickly." Naruto nodded. "What's our next move? How do we find the celestial prism?" Jiraiya glanced at the map spread out before them. According to the sage, the prism was hidden in a location that's both protected and concealed. We need to decipher the clues in the scrolls we found to locate it. Sasuke leaned forward. "We should split up to cover more ground. I can search for any hidden locations or ancient ruins that might match the descriptions. Tsunade agreed. Naruto and Jiraiya will handle gathering information from historical sources and experts. Time is of the essence. The team set out immediately. Sasuke began his search by investigating ancient ruins and hidden locations that might be linked to the celestial prism. His keen eyes and knowledge of historical texts guided him through forgotten paths and long-abandoned sites. Naruto and Jiraiya visited libraries and consulted with scholars, piecing together information from various sources. They interviewed historians and examined old manuscripts, searching for any mention of the prism or related artifacts. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Naruto and Jiraiya returned to their temporary headquarters. They were exhausted but hopeful. "We found something," Naruto said, handing Jiraiya a scroll. "This manuscript mentions a hidden temple in the Forbidden Forest. It's described as a place where powerful artifacts were once stored." Jiraiya unrolled the scroll and studied the text. "This could be our lead. The Forbidden Forest is known for its magical barriers and ancient traps. It might be the hiding place we're looking for." Meanwhile, Sasuke had discovered a hidden chamber within an ancient ruin. Inside, he found inscriptions that matched the descriptions from the scrolls Naruto and Jiraiya had uncovered. The inscriptions hinted at a powerful artifact and its connection to the celestial prism. As night fell, the team reconvened to share their findings. Tsunade reviewed their progress with a thoughtful expression. "The Forbidden Forest is a dangerous place, but it might hold the answers we seek. We need to prepare for any challenges we might face." The team spent the next few days preparing for their journey to the Forbidden Forest. They gathered supplies, researched the forest's history, and trained to ensure they were ready for any obstacles. On the day of their departure, the team set out with determination. The Forbidden Forest was a vast and mysterious place, filled with ancient magic and treacherous paths. As they entered the forest, the atmosphere grew dense with mist and shadow. Naruto took the lead, her senses heightened. "Stay alert. The forest is known for its illusions and traps." Sasuke scanned the surroundings, his eyes sharp and focused. "We need to find the hidden temple. It should be our primary goal." The forest was alive with strange sounds and shifting shadows. The team encountered numerous traps and illusions designed to mislead and confuse. They worked together to navigate the dangers, relying on their skills and teamwork. After several hours of challenging navigation, they finally stumbled upon an ancient structure partially hidden by vines and foliage. The temple's architecture was intricate, with symbols and carvings that resonated with the descriptions from the scrolls. "This must be it," Jiraiya said, examining the temple's exterior. "Let's proceed with caution." As they entered the temple, they were greeted by a series of trials and puzzles that tested their knowledge and teamwork. Each trial was designed to challenge their resolve and understanding of the artifact's significance. Naruto and Sasuke worked together to solve the puzzles, using their combined skills to unlock hidden chambers and reveal important clues. The trials were arduous, but their determination drove them forward. After what felt like an eternity, they finally reached the innermost chamber of the temple. At its center was a pedestal with an ornate box, intricately decorated and sealed with powerful wards. "This is it," Naruto said, her voice filled with awe. "The celestial prism must be inside." Jiraiya carefully approached the pedestal and began to unravel the wards protecting the box. The process was delicate and required precise focus. As the final ward was, the box opened with a soft, echoing chime. Inside, the celestial prism lay nestled in a bed of velvet. Its surface shimmered with an ethereal light, casting colorful reflections around the chamber. Naruko's eyes widened as she gazed at the prism. It's beautiful. But we need to be cautious. We don't know what kind of power it holds. Sasuke approached the prism with a wary expression. We should analyze its properties before deciding our next move. Suddenly, a deep, menacing voice echoed through the chamber. So, you found it. The team turned to see a dark figure emerging from the shadows. The figure was cloaked in darkness, with glowing red eyes that pierced through the gloom. Who are you? Naruko demanded, her voice steady despite the tension. The figure smirked. I am someone who has been searching for the celestial prism for a long time. And now, it seems you've done the work for me. Jiraiya's expression hardened. We won't let you take it. The prism's power must not fall into the wrong hands. The figure's laughter was cold and menacing. You underestimate the forces at play. This world is on the brink of chaos, and the prism is the key to tipping the scales. The team prepared for a confrontation, knowing that the fate of the world might rest on their ability to protect the celestial prism. They stood united, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the figure advanced, the chamber was filled with a tense, charged atmosphere. The team's resolve was unwavering, their determination clear. They knew that the battle they were about to face would be crucial in determining the outcome of their quest. The celestial prism gleamed in the chamber's light, a symbol of both hope and danger. The team's journey had led them to this pivotal moment, and they were prepared to fight for the future of their world. Chapter 15, The Guardian's Challenge. The chamber was thick with tension as the dark figure advanced, their red eyes glowing ominously. The team tightened their grips on their weapons, ready for the confrontation. Naruko took a deep breath, her mind racing. We need to protect the prism at all costs. We don't know what this figure is capable of. Sasuke nodded, his Sharingan flaring to life. We'll handle this. Jiraiya, be prepared to support us. Jiraiya gave a curt nod, his eyes focused on the dark figure. Understood. Let's stay sharp. The dark figure's voice was smooth and dripping with malice. You may think you're prepared, but this is only the beginning. The prism holds immense power, and I'm not the only one interested in it. With a sudden movement, the figure launched a barrage of dark energy towards the team. Sasuke reacted quickly, using his Sharingan to deflect the attack with his sword. Naruko and Jiraiya joined in, working together to fend off the onslaught. The chamber erupted into chaos as the team fought against the figure's powerful attacks. The dark figure was fast and elusive, dodging their strikes with ease and countering with devastating force. Naruko's eyes narrowed as she focused on the figure's movements. We need to find a way to break through their defenses. Sasuke, can you create an opening? Sasuke nodded, his eyes glowing red with intensity. I'll do my best. He charged forward, his sword blazing with chakra. The figure met his attack with a dark shield, but Sasuke's strength was overwhelming. With a powerful strike, he shattered the shield and created an opening for Naruko and Jiraiya to attack. Naruko seized the opportunity, unleashing a barrage of elemental attacks aimed at the figure. Her flames roared with fury, while Jiraiya supported her with powerful jutsu. The figure staggered under the relentless assault, but they quickly recovered, summoning a whirlwind of dark energy to protect themselves. The clash of attacks created a blinding light that filled the chamber. Hold your ground! Jiraiya shouted. We can't let them overpower us. The team pressed on, their combined efforts pushing the figure back. Despite the figure's formidable strength, they struggled to maintain their footing under the relentless pressure. As the battle raged on, the chamber's ancient symbols began to glow with an eerie light. The symbols seemed to respond to the conflict, their power resonating with the energy of the battle. Naruto noticed the symbols glowing brighter with each clash. The chamber, it's reacting to the fight. We need to be careful. Sasuke glanced at the symbols, his expression thoughtful. They might be part of the trials. We need to finish this quickly before things get worse. With a determined effort, the team intensified their attacks. Naruto's flames roared with renewed vigor, Sasuke's sword strikes were precise and powerful, and Jiraiya's jutsu created a powerful synergy. The figure's dark energy began to falter under the onslaught. The once menacing presence seemed to waver, and the figure's movements became more desperate. "Is this all you've got?" the figure taunted, their voice tinged with frustration. Naruto's eyes burned with resolve. "We're just getting started. The prism is not yours to take." With one final, coordinated effort, the team launched a combined attack. Naruto's flames engulfed the figure, Sasuke's sword sliced through the darkness, and Jiraiya's jutsu struck with overwhelming force. The dark figure let out a cry of anguish as the attack overwhelmed them. The figure's form began to dissipate, their presence fading into the shadows. As the chamber settled into silence, the team stood panting, their bodies exhausted but victorious. Naruto wiped the sweat from her brow, her eyes scanning the chamber for any further threats. "We did it," she said, her voice a mix of relief and determination. "But we need to be cautious. There might be more challenges ahead." Jiraiya nodded, his expression serious. "We need to secure the prism and prepare for whatever comes next." The team carefully approached the celestial prism, which still lay on the pedestal, its ethereal light casting a soothing glow. The trials they had faced were only a part of the journey, but they had proven their strength and resolve. As they gathered around the prism, the chamber's symbols began to dim, their power subsiding with the defeat of the dark figure. The air felt lighter, and the oppressive atmosphere lifted. Naruto touched the prism with a sense of awe. "It's beautiful. We need to understand its true power and purpose." Sasuke examined the inscriptions around the pedestal. "There might be more clues here about how to use or protect the prism." Jiraiya nodded in agreement. "Let's take our time to study this. We need to ensure we're fully prepared for any further threats." As the team worked to analyze the prism and its inscriptions, they took a moment to reflect on their journey. The challenges they had faced had tested their strength and unity, but they had emerged victorious. Naruto glanced at her companions, a smile on her face. "We've come a long way. Let's continue to support each other and stay focused." Sasuke and Jiraiya nodded, their expressions resolute. They knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever lay ahead. With the celestial prism secured, the team prepared to leave the chamber. The Forbidden Forest was still filled with mysteries, but they had gained valuable insights and overcome significant obstacles. As they made their way out of the temple, the forest's mist and shadows seemed less foreboding. The trials they had faced had strengthened their resolve and deepened their bond. The team emerged into the clearing, the sunlight filtering through the trees. They stood together, their spirits lifted by their success and their determination to see their quest through to the end. Naruto looked at her friends with a sense of accomplishment. "We've done well, but there's still much to learn and more challenges to face. Let's stay vigilant and keep moving forward." Sasuke and Jiraiya agreed, their expressions reflecting their shared commitment. They knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever awaited them with courage and unity. As they continued their journey, the team remained focused on their goal. The celestial prism held great power, and they needed to understand its significance and protect it from any who sought to misuse it. The forest's shadows seemed to recede as they advanced, their path illuminated by the knowledge and strength they had gained. Their bond as a team had been strengthened by their trials, and they were more determined than ever to see their mission through to its conclusion. Their quest had brought them closer together and prepared them for the challenges that lay ahead. With the celestial prism in their possession, they were ready to face whatever awaited them and protect their world from any threats. The journey ahead was uncertain, but the team's resolve was unshakable. They knew that their mission was of great importance, and they were prepared to face any challenges with courage and determination. As they moved forward, their hearts were filled with hope and their spirits were lifted by their shared purpose. The celestial prism was a symbol of their strength and unity, and they were ready to honor that symbol with their actions. Chapter 16: Echoes of the Past. The forest was bathed in the soft light of dawn as Naruto and her companions continued their journey. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of pine and earth. The path before them was both mysterious and promising, with the celestial prism now in their possession. Naruto walked with a determined stride, her thoughts focused on the next steps of their quest. Sasuke and Jiraiya flanked her, their expressions serious as they contemplated the journey ahead. Jiraiya broke the silence, his voice thoughtful. "We need to find a safe place to study the prism more closely. It's clear it holds immense power, and understanding its true nature is crucial." Sasuke nodded in agreement, his eyes scanning the surroundings. "We should look for an ancient library or a sage who might have knowledge about the prism. It could provide us with the answers we need." Naruto glanced at her companions, a sense of resolve in her eyes. "Agreed. Let's stay vigilant and ensure we're fully prepared for any further threats." As they continued their journey, the forest gradually gave way to a vast and serene valley. In the distance, they could see the faint outline of an old, secluded temple nestled among the mountains. Jiraiya's eyes widened with recognition. That temple, it's said to be an ancient repository of knowledge. We might find the answers we're looking for there. With renewed energy, the team made their way towards the temple. The path was steep and challenging, but they pressed on, driven by their purpose. Upon reaching the temple, they were greeted by its majestic architecture. The ancient structure stood as a testament to the wisdom of the past, its walls adorned with intricate carvings and symbols. Naruto approached the entrance with a sense of awe. "This place, it feels like it holds many secrets." Sasuke examined the carvings on the temple walls. "These symbols, they might be related to the prism. We need to decipher them to understand more about its power." The team entered the temple, their footsteps echoing through the vast halls. The interior was filled with ancient scrolls and artifacts, each telling a story of times long past. Jiraiya led the way to a central chamber, where a large stone tablet stood prominently. The tablet was covered in inscriptions, and a soft glow emanated from its surface. "This tablet might contain crucial information about the celestial prism," Jiraiya said, his voice filled with anticipation. Naruto examined the tablet closely. "The inscriptions are in an ancient script. We'll need to translate them to uncover their meaning." Sasuke nodded, his Sharingan flaring to life as he focused on the inscriptions. "I'll start deciphering them. The sooner we understand the message, the better." As Sasuke worked on translating the inscriptions, Jiraiya began to explore the surrounding shelves, searching for any additional information that might be useful. Naruto took a moment to reflect on their journey so far. The trials they had faced and the challenges they had overcome had strengthened their bond and deepened their resolve. "This journey has brought us closer together," Naruto said, her voice thoughtful. "We've faced many dangers, but we've also grown stronger." Jiraiya looked up from the shelves, his expression reflective. Indeed. Our trials have tested our limits, but they've also revealed our true strength. Sasuke, engrossed in his work, finally looked up with a determined expression. I've translated part of the inscription. It speaks of the celestial prism being a key to unlocking great power, but it also warns of the dangers if misused. Naruto's eyes widened. What kind of dangers? Sasuke continued, it mentions a guardian force that protects the prism from those who seek to exploit its power. The guardian is said to be formidable and unyielding. Jiraiya nodded, his expression serious. We need to be cautious. The prism's power is immense, and there are likely others who seek to claim it. As the team continued their research, they discovered additional scrolls and texts that provided more insight into the celestial prism and its history. The information revealed that the prism was connected to ancient legends and powerful forces that shaped the world. We've learned a lot, Naruto said, her eyes scanning the texts. But there's still much more to uncover. The prism's true purpose and the challenges it presents are far from clear. Sasuke agreed. We need to be prepared for anything. The guardian force mentioned in the inscriptions could be a significant threat. Jiraiya looked at his companions with a sense of resolve. Let's continue our research and prepare ourselves for whatever comes next. We need to be ready to face any challenges that lie ahead. As the team worked diligently, they began to piece together the puzzle of the celestial prism. The knowledge they gained would be crucial in their quest to protect the world from those who sought to misuse its power. The days passed as the team immersed themselves in their studies. The temple's ancient knowledge provided valuable insights, but it also revealed the complexity of the challenges they faced. One evening, as the sun set behind the mountains, Naruto and her companions gathered in the central chamber. The atmosphere was filled with a sense of anticipation as they prepared to discuss their findings. We've made significant progress, Jiraiya said, his voice steady. But there are still unanswered questions. We need to be prepared for the possibility of encountering the guardian force. Naruto nodded. We've come this far, and we can't afford to falter now. We need to stay focused and united. Sasuke glanced at the tablet. The inscriptions also mentioned a trial that would test our resolve and strength. It's likely that we'll face this trial as we continue our journey. Jiraiya's eyes were serious. We need to be ready for any challenges that may arise. The prism's power is immense, and its protection is formidable. As the team discussed their plans, they felt a renewed sense of determination. The knowledge they had gained would guide them in their quest, and their bond as a team had never been stronger. The night was calm, and the temple's ancient walls seemed to hold a sense of tranquility. The team took this moment to rest and reflect on their journey. Naruto sat quietly, her thoughts focused on the path ahead. The challenges they had faced had tested their strength, but they had also brought them closer together. Sasuke and Jiraiya joined her, their expressions thoughtful. We've come a long way, Sasuke said. But there's still more to do. Jiraiya nodded. We've learned much, but we must remain vigilant. The journey ahead will be challenging, but we're ready. As the team prepared for the next phase of their quest, they knew that their journey was far from over. The celestial prism held great power, and they needed to understand its true nature and protect it from those who sought to misuse it. With their resolve strengthened and their knowledge expanded, Naruto and her companions set out once more, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The forest shadows receded as they moved forward, their path illuminated by the knowledge and strength they had gained. Their quest was far from over, but they were prepared to face any obstacles with courage and determination. As they continued their journey, their hearts were filled with hope and their spirits were lifted by their shared purpose. The celestial prism was a symbol of their strength and unity, and they were determined to honor that symbol with their actions. The path ahead was uncertain, but the team's resolve was unwavering. They knew that their mission was of great importance, and they were prepared to face any threats with courage and unity. With the celestial prism as their guide, they moved forward into the unknown, ready to confront whatever awaited them and protect their world from any dangers that might arise. Chapter 17: The Guardian's Trial. The morning light filtered through the ancient temple's windows, casting soft patterns on the stone floors. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya stood in the central chamber, their faces reflecting a mix of anticipation and concern. The knowledge they had gathered over the past days was invaluable, but they knew their journey was far from over. Jiraiya broke the silence, his voice steady. "We've deciphered much of the tablet's inscriptions, but there's a significant part we haven't fully understood yet. It speaks of a trial that awaits us, one that tests our resolve and strength." Sasuke, who had been deep in thought, nodded. "The inscriptions mention that this trial is a safeguard put in place by the ancient guardians. It's designed to ensure that only those truly worthy can wield the celestial prism's power." Naruto tightened her grip on the prism, her expression resolute. "We need to be ready. If the trial is as formidable as the inscriptions suggest, we must face it with all our strength and unity." Jiraiya placed a reassuring hand on Naruto's shoulder. "We've faced many challenges together, and we've always emerged stronger. This trial will be no different." The team prepared to leave the temple, their determination evident. As they exited the ancient structure, the landscape before them had transformed. The once serene valley was now shrouded in mist, and a sense of foreboding hung in the air. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya followed a narrow path leading into the heart of the mist. The path was lined with ancient stones, and the air was thick with a magical energy that seemed to pulse with each step they took. "We must be cautious," Jiraiya warned. "The mist may conceal traps or illusions meant to test our resolve." The path eventually led them to a vast clearing, where a towering stone gate stood imposingly. The gate was covered in intricate symbols and runes, glowing softly with a mystical light. "This must be the entrance to the trial," Sasuke said, examining the symbols closely. "The gate is protected by powerful enchantments." Jiraiya stepped forward, placing his hand on the gate. "Let's see if we can decipher the runes. They might hold the key to opening this gate." As Jiraiya worked on deciphering the runes, Naruto and Sasuke kept watch, their senses alert for any potential threats. The atmosphere was tense, and the weight of the trial ahead felt heavy on their shoulders. After a few moments of intense focus, Jiraiya spoke. "The runes describe a test of heart and strength. To pass, we must prove our worthiness through both physical and mental challenges." Naruto took a deep breath, her eyes meeting Sasuke's. "We're ready. Let's face whatever awaits us, and show that we're worthy." With a final chant, Jiraiya activated the runes, and the gate slowly creaked open. The team stepped through and found themselves in a vast chamber illuminated by an eerie light. The chamber was filled with strange, floating orbs that cast shifting shadows on the walls. "This is the first part of the trial," Jiraiya said, his voice echoing in the chamber. "We need to navigate through this chamber and face whatever challenges are presented to us." As they ventured further into the chamber, the orbs began to swirl and converge, forming a series of illusions that tested their resolve. Images of past battles, fears, and regrets appeared before them, each one challenging their determination and focus. Naruto faced a vision of her younger self, struggling with feelings of inadequacy and loneliness. The image spoke with her own voice, taunting her doubts and fears. You're not strong enough, the illusion whispered. You're just a burden to those around you. Naruko clenched her fists, her resolve hardening. I'm not a burden. I've overcome so much, and I won't let my past define me. With a surge of determination, Naruko dispelled the illusion, her confidence bolstered by her own words. She continued forward, her path illuminated by the growing strength of her spirit. Sasuke's challenge was equally daunting. He faced a vision of his brother, Itachi, who taunted him with accusations of failure and weakness. The image of Itachi's cold, calculating eyes seemed to pierce through him. You've always been weak, the illusion sneered. You could never live up to the expectations placed upon you. Sasuke's eyes blazed with intensity. I've faced my demons and grown stronger. I won't let your words hold me back. With a fierce glare, Sasuke shattered the illusion, his anger and determination fueling his resolve. He pressed on, his focus unwavering. Jiraiya faced a different kind of challenge. He encountered a vision of his own failures and regrets, moments from his past that haunted him and weighed heavily on his conscience. You've failed those you care about, the illusion said, its voice tinged with sorrow. You've made mistakes that can never be undone. Jiraiya took a deep breath, his expression resolute. I've learned from my mistakes and strive to become better. I won't let the past dictate my future. With a determined stride, Jiraiya dispelled the illusion, his heart heavy, but his spirit unyielding. He joined Naruto and Sasuke as they continued through the chamber, their resolve strengthened by their individual trials. As they progressed, the chamber's illusions began to fade, and the path ahead became clearer. The team reached the center of the chamber, where a pedestal stood, holding a glowing crystal. This must be the heart of the trial, Jiraiya said, his voice filled with awe. The crystal represents the essence of the celestial prism's power. Naruto approached the pedestal, her heart pounding with anticipation. What do we do now? Jiraiya examined the pedestal closely. The crystal seems to be a key. We need to place the celestial prism in its place to complete the trial. Naruto carefully placed the celestial prism on the pedestal. As she did, the crystal began to resonate with a powerful energy, and a series of symbols and runes appeared around them. The symbols formed a glowing path leading to a set of doors on the opposite side of the chamber. The doors were adorned with ancient markings and seemed to pulse with a faint, mystical light. This is it, Sasuke said, his eyes focused on the doors. We've completed the trial and proven our worthiness. Jiraiya nodded, his expression proud. We've faced our fears and shown our strength. The trial has tested us, but we've emerged victorious. The doors opened with a soft rumble, revealing a breathtaking landscape beyond. The view was a stunning panorama of the world, with rolling hills, majestic mountains, and a vast expanse of sky. This is the final reward, Jiraiya said, his voice filled with wonder. The trial has granted us a glimpse of the world we're fighting to protect. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya stepped through the doors and took in the magnificent view. The beauty of the landscape reminded them of the importance of their mission and the world they sought to safeguard. As they stood together, the celestial prism's power resonated with the landscape, its light merging with the natural beauty around them. The team felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. This journey has been challenging, Naruto said, her voice filled with gratitude. But it's also shown us the strength of our bond and the power of our resolve. Sasuke nodded in agreement. We've faced many trials, but we've grown stronger with each one. We're ready for whatever comes next. Jiraiya smiled, his eyes reflecting pride and hope. Our journey is far from over, but we've taken a significant step forward. We must continue to be vigilant and united in our mission. With their spirits lifted and their resolve strengthened, the team prepared to continue their journey. The trials they had faced had tested their limits, but they had emerged victorious, ready to confront any challenges that lay ahead. As they descended from the chamber and ventured into the world beyond, they felt a sense of unity and purpose. The celestial prism was a symbol of their strength and their commitment to protecting their world. The path ahead was uncertain, but Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya knew that they were prepared to face whatever awaited them. Their journey had brought them closer together, and they were ready to confront the challenges of the future with courage and determination. The horizon stretched out before them, a canvas of possibilities and adventures. With the celestial prism's power and their unwavering resolve, they set out to fulfill their mission and safeguard the world they cherished. Chapter 18: The Gathering Storm. The sun hung high in the sky, casting a warm glow over the Hidden Leaf Village as Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya returned from their successful trial. The celestial prism pulsed with energy at Naruto's side, a constant reminder of the power and responsibility they now carried. As they walked through the village, villagers greeted them with smiles and waves. The sense of hope was palpable, but beneath the surface, a growing tension lingered. They could all feel that the calm before the storm was drawing to a close. "Let's report to Tsunade," Jiraiya said, leading the way to the Hokage's office. "We need to share what we've learned about the celestial prism and the trials." Naruto and Sasuke followed, their minds filled with the significance of their findings. The knowledge gained from the trials and the insights provided by the Sage of the Six Paths weighed heavily on their shoulders. Upon entering Tsunade's office, they found her already poring over a series of documents. She looked up as they entered, her expression serious. "Welcome back. I hope your journey was fruitful." "It was," Naruto said, placing the celestial prism on the table. "We completed the trials and gained valuable insights into the prism's power and its connection to the Ootsutsuki clan." Tsunade leaned forward, her interest piqued. "What did you discover?" Sasuke stepped forward. "The trials tested our resolve and unity. We faced illusions of our past fears, and we learned that the prism has the ability to manipulate space and time." Jiraiya continued, "We also learned about a guardian force that protects the prism. It's crucial that we understand how to wield its power responsibly." Tsunade's brow furrowed with concern. "The Ootsutsuki clan has always been a threat. If there are others seeking the prism, we need to be prepared." Naruto nodded, her determination unwavering. "We must strengthen our defenses and gather more information about the Ootsutsuki clan's intentions." As they discussed their findings, the door to the office swung open, and Shikamaru entered, his expression serious. "Tsunade, there's been a disturbance on the outskirts of the village. Reports of strange sightings and powerful chakra signatures." Tsunade's expression hardened. "Gather the team. We need to investigate immediately." Naruto's heart raced at the mention of strange sightings. It could be connected to the Ootsutsuki clan. "We should be cautious." The team quickly assembled, and Tsunade briefed them on the situation. "We've received reports of unusual activity near the old ruins outside the village. There are multiple chakra signatures that are unfamiliar." As they prepared to leave, Shikamaru's tactical mind went into overdrive. "We should approach cautiously. If this is related to the Ootsutsuki clan, we need to be ready for anything." The group set out toward the ruins, the atmosphere heavy with tension. As they arrived, they could see the remnants of an ancient structure, partially buried in the earth. The air was thick with energy, and the ground trembled slightly beneath their feet. Sasuke activated his Sharingan, scanning the area for any signs of danger. "Stay alert. We don't know what we're walking into." As they moved deeper into the ruins, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a tall, cloaked individual with a sinister aura. The figure's face was obscured, but their presence radiated power. "Welcome," the figure said, their voice smooth and dripping with malice. "You've come seeking answers, but you're too late." Naruto stepped forward, her heart pounding. "Who are you? What do you want?" The figure chuckled darkly. "I am a servant of the Ootsutsuki clan. You've meddled in affairs far beyond your comprehension, and now you will pay the price." Jiraiya's expression hardened. "We won't let you take the prism or any other artifacts. Your ambitions end here." With a swift motion, the figure unleashed a wave of dark energy, sending the team sprawling backward. Naruto quickly regained her footing, her instincts kicking in. "We need to fight back." Sasuke charged forward, his sword drawn. "Stay close and watch each other's backs." The battle erupted, energy crackling in the air as the team confronted the dark figure. The figure moved with incredible speed, their attacks a blur as they targeted Naruto and Sasuke. Jiraiya summoned his water techniques, creating powerful waves to counter the figure's dark energy. "We need to disrupt their attacks. Focus on teamwork." Naruto and Sasuke coordinated their strikes, combining their elemental abilities to create a powerful barrage of fire and ice. The dark figure staggered under the onslaught but quickly regained composure, their dark energy surging. "You think you can defeat me?" the figure sneered. "I am but a shadow of the Otsutsuki's true power." The team pressed on, their resolve unwavering. They knew that the fate of the celestial prism, and their world, depended on their success. With a final, desperate surge of energy, Naruto channeled her chakra into a massive fireball, aiming it directly at the figure. The fireball collided with the dark energy, creating an explosive wave that shook the ground. As the dust settled, the figure stood, battered but not defeated. "You may have power, but it will not be enough to stop what is to come." With a swift motion, the figure retreated into the shadows, vanishing from sight. The team stood together, breathing heavily, their expressions a mix of relief and concern. "That was close," Jiraiya said, his heart racing. "But they're still out there, and they'll be back." Sasuke's gaze was fierce. "We need to find out more about the Ootsutsuki clan's plans. This isn't over." Naruto nodded, her determination reignited. "We must prepare for whatever comes next. We need to gather allies and strengthen our defenses." As they regrouped, the realization of the danger they faced weighed heavily on their minds. The Ootsutsuki clan's influence was spreading, and they had to act quickly to protect their world. The team returned to the village, their spirits resolute. They gathered at Tsunade's office to discuss their next steps. "We need to rally support from other villages," Tsunade said, her expression serious. "If the Ootsutsuki clan is indeed planning something, we can't face it alone." Naruto looked at her teammates, her heart filled with determination. "Let's reach out to the other villages. We need to unite our forces and prepare for the coming storm." With their mission clear, the team set out to gather information and build alliances. They knew that the road ahead would be filled with challenges, but their resolve was stronger than ever. As they traveled to the neighboring villages, they encountered various allies and potential threats. The world outside the Hidden Leaf village was vast and unpredictable, and they needed to navigate it carefully. Throughout their journey, they shared stories of their trials and victories, fostering bonds with those they encountered. Each village they visited offered new perspectives and insights, enriching their understanding of the looming threat. After several days of travel, they arrived at the village of the sand, where they were greeted warmly by Gaara, the village leader. "Welcome, Naruto, Sasuke, Jiraiya," Gaara said, his tone serious. I've heard about your journey and the trials you faced. I'm ready to support you in whatever comes next. Naruto felt a surge of hope. Thank you, Gaara. We need all the allies we can gather to face the Ootsutsuki clan. As they discussed their plans with Gaara, the urgency of their mission became clear. The world was on the brink of chaos, and they needed to act swiftly. We will send messengers to the other villages, Gaara declared. We must unite our forces and prepare for the storm that is coming. With renewed determination, Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya continued their journey, rallying support and building alliances. Each village they visited strengthened their resolve and deepened their commitment to protect their world. As they traveled, the air grew heavier with the weight of impending conflict. The shadows of the Ootsutsuki clan loomed over them, and they knew that the battle ahead would test their strength, unity, and resolve. But no matter what challenges lay ahead, Naruto and her friends were ready to face them together. The bonds they had forged through their trials would guide them, and the power of the celestial prism would help illuminate their path. With hope in their hearts and determination in their spirits, they moved forward, ready to confront the darkness and protect the world they cherished. Chapter 19: The Clash of Destinies. The Hidden Leaf Village buzzed with activity as Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya returned from their journey to gather allies. The atmosphere was tense with anticipation as the villagers prepared for the potential threat of the Ootsutsuki clan. The air was thick with both hope and apprehension. Tsunade gathered the village's key figures in her office to discuss the next steps. The room was filled with an air of urgency as everyone took their seats. Thank you all for coming, Tsunade began, her tone serious. As you know, we've received reports of increased Ootsutsuki activity. We need to strategize our response and ensure that we are ready for any confrontation. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya stood beside her, their expressions determined. We've made progress, Naruto said, but we need to strengthen our defenses and coordinate with our allies. Shikamaru, ever the strategist, spoke up. We should divide our forces. Some should focus on strengthening our defenses, while others should seek out the Ootsutsuki's base and gather intelligence. Kakashi nodded in agreement. I can lead a team to scout for the Ootsutsuki clan's location. We need to gather as much information as possible about their plans and forces. Tsunade turned to Gaara. Gaara, can your forces assist us in reinforcing the defenses around the village? Of course, Gaara replied. We'll provide the necessary support. It's crucial that we stand together in this. With a plan in place, the team prepared for their respective missions. The village buzzed with activity as everyone did their part to bolster their defenses and gather intel. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya set out to reinforce their alliances and prepare for the impending battle. As they traveled to meet their allies, they encountered various challenges. Each village they visited presented unique obstacles, but their determination never wavered. During one such visit, they arrived at the village hidden in the mist, where Mei Terumi, the village leader, greeted them warmly. Welcome, Naruto, Sasuke, Jiraiya, Mei said, her eyes reflecting concern. I've heard about the threats you're facing. We are ready to assist. Thank you, Mei, Naruto replied. Your support is invaluable. We need to prepare for a major conflict. Mei nodded, her expression serious. We'll mobilize our forces and stand ready. The Ootsutsuki clan will not prevail. As they continued their journey, the weight of their mission grew heavier. The threat of the Ootsutsuki clan loomed large, and they could feel the pressure of their responsibility. One evening, while resting by a campfire, Sasuke spoke up. We've done what we can to prepare. Now, we need to focus on the coming battle. Jiraiya looked at him thoughtfully. Yes, but we must also be ready for unexpected developments. The Ootsutsuki clan is known for their unpredictability. Naruto stared into the fire, her thoughts racing. We've faced many challenges, but this will be our greatest test. We have to be strong, not just for ourselves, but for everyone depending on us. As the days passed, the village's preparations continued in earnest. The defenses were fortified, and allies from various villages assembled, ready to support the Hidden Leaf village. Finally, the day of the anticipated conflict arrived. The sky was overcast, adding to the somber mood. The combined forces gathered at the edge of the village, their expressions a mix of determination and apprehension. Tsunade addressed the assembled troops. Today, we face a great threat. The Ootsutsuki clan seeks to dominate and destroy. But we will not falter. We fight for our homes, our loved ones, and our future. The crowd erupted in cheers, their spirits lifted by Tsunade's words. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya exchanged determined glances, ready to lead their forces into battle. As they prepared to set out, a familiar figure approached. It was Orochimaru, his presence unexpected but not unwelcome. I've heard about the impending battle, Orochimaru said, his tone neutral. I've come to offer my assistance. Naruto studied him warily. Why should we trust you? Orochimaru's gaze was steady. Because, despite our past, we share a common enemy. The Ootsutsuki clan poses a threat to us all. After a moment's consideration, Tsunade nodded. Very well. Your knowledge and abilities could prove useful. Join us. With Orochimaru's unexpected alliance secured, the combined forces set out toward the location where the Ootsutsuki clan was rumored to be gathering. The journey was tense, every step bringing them closer to a confrontation they had been preparing for. As they approached the site, the landscape changed. The air grew colder, and an eerie silence settled over the area. The ground was scarred with evidence of battles long past, and the energy felt oppressive. Stay alert, Jiraiya instructed. We don't know what to expect. The team advanced cautiously, their senses on high alert. The Ootsutsuki clan's presence was palpable, a dark energy that seemed to pulse through the ground. Suddenly, figures emerged from the shadows. The Ootsutsuki clan's members stood before them, their eyes glowing with a malevolent light. Welcome, one of the Ootsutsuki members said, their voice echoing with power. You've come far, but your journey ends here. Naruto stepped forward, her resolve unwavering. We won't let you harm our world. We're ready to fight. The Ootsutsuki members responded with dark energy, their power crackling in the air. The battle erupted, a clash of formidable forces that shook the ground. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya led their allies into battle, their skills and strategies put to the test. The Ootsutsuki clan's power was immense, their attacks fierce and relentless. Naruto fought with all her strength, her chakra flaring as she unleashed powerful techniques. Sasuke and Jiraiya fought beside her, their combined efforts pushing back the Ootsutsuki members. Despite their strength, the battle was fierce. The Ootsutsuki clan's members displayed an array of abilities that tested the limits of the allied forces. Keep pushing forward. Tsunade called out, her voice resolute. We can't let them break our lines. The allied forces rallied, their determination unwavering. They fought with everything they had, their efforts focused on driving back the Ootsutsuki clan. As the battle raged on, Naruto found herself facing one of the Ootsutsuki's leaders. The leader's power was overwhelming, and Naruto struggled to keep up. Is this all you have? The Ootsutsuki leader taunted. Your efforts are in vain. Naruto gritted her teeth, her resolve steeling. We won't give up. Not now, not ever. With a surge of energy, Naruto unleashed a powerful attack, her chakra blazing. The Ootsutsuki leader was momentarily taken aback, but quickly regained composure. The clash continued, a relentless exchange of power and skill. Naruto, Sasuke, and their allies fought with unwavering determination, their spirits as strong as ever. The battle seemed endless, but the tide began to turn. The combined forces of the Hidden Leaf Village and their allies pressed forward, their resolve breaking through the Ootsutsuki clan's defenses. Finally, with a decisive strike, Naruto landed a powerful blow against the Ootsutsuki leader. The leader staggered, their dark energy waning. "This battle is far from over," the leader said, their voice fading. "But you've proven your strength." With the leader defeated, the remaining Ootsutsuki members retreated, vanishing into the shadows. The allied forces stood victorious, but the cost of the battle was evident. Tired and battered, Naruto and her allies gathered together. The victory was hard-earned, but the threat had not been entirely vanquished. "Good work, everyone," Tsunade said, her voice filled with pride. "We've held our ground today, but we must remain vigilant." Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya exchanged weary smiles, their spirits lifted by their hard-won victory. They knew that the fight was far from over, but their determination and unity had proven their strength. As they made their way back to the village, the sun began to rise, casting a warm light over the horizon. The battle was won, but the road ahead remained uncertain. Naruto looked at her friends, her heart full of gratitude. "We did it. We've shown that we can face any challenge together." Sasuke nodded, his gaze steady. "We've taken a significant step, but there's more to come. We need to be ready for whatever lies ahead." Jiraiya placed a reassuring hand on Naruto's shoulder. "We've proven our strength, but the real test will be in the days to come. Let's continue to support each other and stand strong." As they returned to the Hidden Leaf Village, the bonds they had forged and the victories they had achieved filled them with hope. The future was uncertain, but they were ready to face it together. With renewed determination and unity, Naruto, Sasuke, and their allies prepared for the challenges that lay ahead. The world was still in danger, but their strength and courage had given them a fighting chance. And as they looked toward the horizon, they knew that they would face whatever came next with the same unwavering resolve that had brought them this far. Chapter 20. The Hidden Leaf Village was a hive of activity. The battle with the Ootsutsuki clan had left its mark, but the victory was bittersweet. As Naruto, Sasuke, and their allies returned, the atmosphere was one of cautious relief and simmering tension. The village's defenses were being strengthened, and the villagers worked together to rebuild and recover. Tsunade's office was filled with key figures, the aftermath of the battle discussed with a mixture of relief and apprehension. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya stood by her side, their expressions reflecting the weight of their recent experiences. "Today," Tsunade began, "we honor our victories and acknowledge our losses. We've proven our strength, but we must remain vigilant." Shikamaru looked thoughtful. "We've dealt a heavy blow to the Ootsutsuki clan, but they're known for their resilience. We need to prepare for potential retaliation." Kakashi nodded in agreement. "We should also focus on rebuilding and strengthening our alliances." The support we received from other villages was crucial. Naruto felt a deep sense of responsibility. "We need to ensure that our village is safe and that we're ready for any future threats." Tsunade's gaze softened. "You've all shown incredible bravery. Our village is stronger because of it. But now, we must look forward and prepare for a lasting peace." The meeting concluded, and the villagers went back to their tasks, each person contributing to the recovery effort. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya took some time to visit various parts of the village, offering their support and ensuring that everyone was coping with the aftermath of the battle. As they walked through the village, Naruto noticed the changes. The once damaged buildings were being repaired, and the villagers were working together, their spirits lifted by the recent victory. "Look at this," Jiraiya said, his voice filled with pride. "The village is coming back to life." Naruto smiled, though her thoughts were heavy. "It's good to see everyone working together. But we have to be ready for anything." Sasuke, his expression contemplative, added, "We've made a lot of progress, but there's still work to be done. We need to strengthen our defenses and continue our training." The trio continued their rounds, visiting with friends and allies. As evening fell, they gathered at the village's training ground, where the setting sun cast a warm glow over the landscape. Tsunade joined them, her demeanor calm yet resolute. "We've accomplished a great deal, but our journey isn't over. We must stay united and be prepared for the challenges that lie ahead." Naruto nodded. "We've faced many trials. And we've grown stronger. We'll continue to stand together." As they spoke, a familiar figure approached. It was Orochimaru. His presence met with mixed reactions from the gathered crowd. "I've come to offer my continued support," Orochimaru said, his tone earnest. "Our common enemy has been defeated, but there's still much to be done." Tsunade regarded him carefully. "Your assistance has been valuable. We will continue to work together." The villagers gathered for a celebration, marking the end of the conflict and the beginning of a new chapter. The festivities were a testament to their resilience and unity. Music, laughter, and the clinking of glasses filled the air as the villagers celebrated their hard-won peace. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya stood on a raised platform overlooking the celebration. Their faces reflected a mix of pride and exhaustion. "It's been a long journey," Jiraiya said, his voice tinged with nostalgia. "But we've come through it together." Sasuke glanced at Naruto. "We've achieved a lot, but we must remain vigilant. There will always be challenges, and we need to be prepared." Naruto looked out at the crowd, her heart full of hope. "We've proven that we're stronger together. No matter what comes next, we'll face it with the same determination." As the night progressed, the celebration continued, a symbol of their triumph and unity. The villagers danced and rejoiced, their spirits buoyed by the hope of a better future. As the festivities drew to a close, Naruto found herself alone under the stars, her thoughts reflecting on the journey that had brought her here. The path had been fraught with danger and uncertainty, but the strength and support of her friends and allies had seen her through. A soft voice interrupted her thoughts. "You've come a long way, Naruto." Naruto turned to see Sasuke standing nearby. "It's been a challenging journey, but we've made it. Thanks to everyone." Sasuke nodded. "You've grown into a remarkable leader. The village is stronger because of your efforts." Naruto smiled. "We've all worked hard. It's been a team effort." As they stood together, the stars shining brightly above them, they knew that the future held both challenges and opportunities. The victory they had achieved was significant, but the path ahead was still to be charted. The dawn of a new era had begun, and with it came the promise of growth, unity, and the continued strength of the Hidden Leaf Village. Epilogue: A New Dawn. The days turned into weeks, and the Hidden Leaf Village continued to recover and rebuild. The bonds forged during the battle with the Ootsutsuki clan remained strong, and the village thrived under the shared effort of its people. Naruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya continued to lead with unwavering resolve, their experiences having deepened their understanding and commitment to their roles. The village flourished, its defenses stronger and its alliances more robust, The legacy of their struggle became a source of inspiration for future generations. The villagers looked to the heroes of the battle as symbols of courage and unity, and their story became a testament to the power of perseverance and friendship. As Naruto stood on the edge of the village, overlooking the horizon, she felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The journey had been arduous, but the rewards were worth the effort. The future was filled with promise, and the bonds of friendship and unity would guide them through whatever challenges lay ahead. The sun rose over the Hidden Leaf village, casting a golden light over its people. It was a new dawn, a fresh beginning, and with it came the hope of a brighter future. The story of Naruto and her friends had come full circle, but their legacy would continue to inspire and shape the world for years to come. The village was safe, its people united, and its future bright. And as the days turned to years, the Hidden Leaf village remained a beacon of strength and hope, a testament to the enduring spirit of its people and the heroes who had fought to protect it. The journey had been long, but it had paved the way for a new era, one filled with possibility, promise, and the unwavering strength of those who had come before.